Hello, guys. Hey, I'm excited to announce something. This is the first episode of Catching Kings. I'm here with one of my really good friends, known him for decades and decades. And we're going to create a podcast that has touched us in our lives in a lot of ways. And primarily, we've designed this podcast for the purpose of talking to young men, all men, women too. But basically, we want to talk about relationships. We want to talk about business ventures. We want to talk about common life issues, things that touch guys. We need to focus on what make men into kings. And so therefore, that's why we came up with the name Catching Kings is, hey, you going to be a king or you going to be a king? It's up to you, right? So anyway, I'm here with Tommy Parker.
Hey guys.
Like I said, lifelong friend, been around a long time. And we have a pretty good history together, have actually experienced business, relationships, opportunities, faith-based conversations, a lot of really cool stuff. So we're going to bring these topics in over the course of our podcast. And in that, I think you need to get to know who we are and what we're about. And so Tommy, like I said, I've known Tommy for probably 30 years now or so, or more.
Something like that.
Probably
yeah.
closer to
30.
I'm getting wrinkles.
30, 30, more than 30 years, at least 30.
Yeah.
I know at least 30.
Yeah, probably 30 years or more.
Plus.
So.
Not less, but definitely more.
Yeah, and so I met Tommy. I initially had a lot of different business ventures, real estate development, construction, financial companies, restaurants. Things of that nature. Well, in my construction development business, I wanted to have someone come in and do my final cleans like normal. And I think I had just at the time had my previous vendor. They were kind of slowing down and not quite doing what we wanted. And about that time, a young Tommy Parker walks up and says, "Hey, can you need anybody to do any of your cleaning work?"
I think I was probably like 18, just turning 18 years old, and I was young and, didn't know much about business other than coming from, well, I can't say I didn't know. My family had a private rent-own company in Tulsa called Rent Quick, and so no one ever taught me anything, but I just saw everybody had a business, and I'm like, well, I think that's what you got to do. I got to have a business. So didn't know which business I wanted, but I had a friend named Jerry Bohannon. He started it, cleaning services, and I'm like, well, let me get into that, and ran into this gentleman, and next thing you know, we had a cleaning business.
Yeah.
He hired me. He was my first person to give me a contract to start my
work
first, work with to have my first business. So
Tommy, how old were you then? I mean,
you
were young.
17 going into 18.
Yeah, you're just you're not even wet behind the ears yet,
No,
right?
Me and my best friend Tim Finley, we said, let's go do this business. We always were inspired by his brother and his brother's friends to have a business, and then of course my parents. And so we turned around and we just started door knocking to all the home builders.
Yeah.
Like, let's get to it. And we just went up, we saw the construction going on, we see Barry Hill Homes, let's go check this guy. Let's go do this. And, and so we go, hey, is the builder here? And they're like, yeah, he's right over here. Hey, we were just kids. I was 18.
Well, and at the time, it probably shocked you because I was a young entrepreneur as well. They'd probably think, wait a minute, because I built nice homes back then.
Oh, yeah, they were super nice.
Yeah, and I'm not any more than 23, 24 years
you were
old,
young.
probably. Yeah.
And all I remember seeing Barry Hill Homes, and he had a bunch of signs. I just can't remember all these properties everywhere. And I'm like, Barry Hill, I said, oh, we got to get this contract.
Yeah.
This is a big contract.
He's a big guy.
So we were excited, and then he gives us a shot. And the next thing you know, I started my very first company. It was I think it was like TNT Cleaning. I don't know, because Tim and Tommy, we had that was our thing was TNT because it was Tim and Tommy, and then he hired us.
So you knew right then, like you said, your family had a entrepreneurial spirit, and they had their own company, and then you as well thought, man, I'm either gonna work for the man or I'm gonna be the man, right? so you decided to venture out on your own. Well, we all know it doesn't take a lot of money to buy some cleaning stuff, right? And guess what? Bam, you're in business, right? So I like that you took very little
and made as much as
you could with it, which is gonna kind of segue into your future life too, like what we're going to talk about here in a little bit. You take little and turn it into something great.
Absolutely. So I tell a lot of kids this too when I talk to them. Like, I want to do something. I want to say, dude, you can start a cleaning company, a carpet cleaning company. I said my first business was a bakery. I said A young lady recently was trying to start her first business doing make ready. I'm like, this was how I got started.
Yeah.
I said, but you take this vision and it takes very little money. And if you can find somebody, then you can turn on and do your legal stuff later. Then you just give you a chance, and and just start getting it together. And so I tell kids, you can literally do anything you want. We live in a world where, if you believe in yourself and you have faith and you want to work hard, you can build a company and then be what you want to be. And then it takes one person like Adrian, who believed in me and let me do it. And then I had a good relationship with him for until I didn't do that business for a couple of years. Doing for him, doing his houses, and then I of course I did a million other things after that. But you were the first start of me creating my first business, and
here we are, decades later. But it's funny you touched on something, Tommy. You said that you got to have a dream, you got to have hard work, you got to have faith, trust. Well, it's interesting because I have a lot of people, as you know, I've been in multiple companies. I've been fairly successful in my days as an entrepreneur, and I've had so many people ask me, Adrian, how do you actually start what you start, put it into motion, and make it successful? And my number one answer to that, for everybody that's listening, that's always kind of considering, man, I want to get out of this job, I punch a clock, 9 to 5. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because for some people, they just want steady, they don't want the risk, because hey, being an entrepreneur, as you know, is a 24/7 deal. Everyone says it. They don't realize that when you start a company, you're probably making less than 30 cents an hour, maybe, when you put all the time in. But what my answer to those people is, I said, listen, it all starts with an idea, right? A thought in your head. And then you have to turn it into an action.
Yeah.
Okay. So what happens is most people that are looking at getting into business, they talk themselves out of it because of fear. Yeah. Because of fear. What ifs come in? What if I can't get enough people to buy my product? What if they don't do my service?
That's the biggest killer.
What if I don't have enough money? What if I don't have enough time? What if I go bankrupt? What if I can't pay my rents, right? So all of those things are your very first objective to pushing you in to the things that can make you successful.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say, if you're young, and when I say young, I don't care what age you are. You may be 15. I started my first business when I was 15.
Yeah.
And what it was is I have zero to this day fear of failure.
Yeah.
I have zero fear of failure. I don't like the idea of failure, but you have to start and be willing to do what it takes. I was coaching football for some kids that were like 8 years old at Bixby High School, right? And or the middle school. And I asked these kids, I said, hey, do you guys want to be champions this season? All bunch of little kids sitting on their helmets, right? After practice. And they're like, oh yeah, coach, And I'm like, cool, I do too. I said, now I'm going to ask you guys a couple questions. I want you to raise your hand. I said, show me all the hands out there of you guys that want to be champions. So all these little kids, right?
Yeah.
Then I said, all right, now, show me the hands of all of you kids out there that are willing to do the work.
The hands
do you have the will? And they're like,
hands.
They were confused by it, right? And I explained to them, I said, guys, everybody wants to be rich and famous. Everybody wants to be successful. Everybody wants the perfect marriage. Everybody wants the great business. Everybody wants a relationship with God. Most likely, right? They just don't know it sometimes. All right. So the difference is are they willing to do the work to get it?
Yeah.
Right?
And a lot of people don't realize, like, the sacrifice and commitment you have to do to make that work happen.
Yep.
And it's a lot of work. And that's what it becomes, once they start doing it, that's where that fear starts happening. The first time, you get any kind of resistance of what you're trying to build, that puts a fear, like, maybe this won't work out, and people quit. They don't even finish what they start.
So your self-talk.
Yep.
Your self-talk destroys you.
Yep. And that's it. It's only you that kills you, but it's you who can only win.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to believe in yourself. But when you have those doubts and stuff, that's you not believing in yourself. So I tell people, just if you believe what you're saying right now when they tell me I want to do this, well, do you really believe it? Because if you believe it, then you're going to do great. But if you have doubt, that's going to be a killer for you.
Absolutely. Have you ever known anybody that's super successful that's negative?
No.
No.
I mean, yeah, no, because
not really.
No, because they put in the work and they know they'll all tell you too. that they took the chance.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing I've heard every
Common
entrepreneur.
denominator.
It's the common denominator. It's I took the chance.
I took a chance.
And they said I don't even know I was going to make it, but I had to try.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy is when you take that chance, you darn well know that there's a chance you're going to fail.
Yeah.
But that's not your voice you listen to.
Mm-mm.
If you want to be successful, you listen to the voice of, hey, every time someone says no, when I said, hey, you want to sponsor?
Yeah.
Hey, you want to help me out? Hey, can you do this? And they say no. You've heard the whole saying.
Yeah.
Every no is one closer to the yes.
Yep.
Right? And then the yeses start stacking up.
Absolutely.
For multiple reasons. You got better at what you're doing.
Yeah.
Your presentation got better.
Exactly.
And then you proved yourself a few times, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
the yeses get easier. Every millionaire friend I know, myself, you make your first $1 million, that's the hardest freaking million to make.
It's the hardest.
And then they just start stacking up,
Mhm.
right? And you get better at it. I mean, you get better, your craft's better, you know how to do the things you do. And there's some success that builds confidence.
Mm-hmm.
So you know the old saying, fake it till you make it.
Yeah, there's a lot of failure. Well, there's a lot of failure too before you get there.
And the failure is valuable.
The failure is so valuable, and you'll hear that time and time again from every entrepreneur is how valuable that learning process of failing. You know what that took them to the next level. You know how it took them to the next level is they had to fail.
Yeah.
You know because you don't know what you're doing wrong until you not do it. Because if I feel like if you don't fail at some point, when you do hit really big and something really good happens, or you won't make it, you'll crash hard because you thought life was going to be easy peasy, and then it wasn't.
Everybody has
So
ideas of grandeur, right?
Yep, but that failure is so important of just life lessons. Just
What kind of, but Tommy, that kind of brings us in a little bit. So, obviously, we've probably both experienced tremendous efforts,
Yeah.
and have been disappointed in some at times.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times we work in positions of weakness as
Mhm.
opposed to strength. Now, if you can work in a position of weakness and keep digging and keep digging
Yeah.
and keep digging, it seems like an acorn. When you find one acorn, it feels like a gold bar, right?
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
person says yes, or one person says, I like what
Oh,
you're
put you
doing.
on cloud nine.
It brings you up, right?
Yeah.
So, in that, you've been doing all kinds of stuff. Like I said earlier, you buy some cleaning materials. You're 17, 18 years old. What do you spend $100 on a bucket,
Yeah.
a squeegee, and some freaking cleaning
That was
stuff,
it.
right?
Yeah.
So you took a little bit and you turned it into a lot of revenue, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So you took a little bit. So that brings us into what you're doing currently, decades later.
Yeah.
You're still doing the same
Same thing. Yeah,
Okay.
I build everything because I feel like, if you don't build something from the ground up, then you don't understand what it took to make it. And I love building everything I've ever built from the ground up, from scratch. And even with the new thing that I'm doing right now, we're pioneering an entire industry right now.
Yeah, so let me interrupt you here for a minute because I want people that are watching to understand what Tommy's doing here. This guy, he's really slaying dragons right now, and it's really cool. And the reason is he's gone through the hard times of business. He's had the success in business, and he knows that if he believes in what he's doing enough, which you just heard, he's going to be able to be successful. And he's starting to see the fruits of this. So Tommy is he reached out to me probably about almost a year ago.
Yeah.
And said, hey, dude, man, I'd like to meet with you. I've got this thing going, and I'd like for you to be a part of it. And so we met for lunch, and he explained to me that he was going to start promoting celebrity events kind of around the sporting platform, whether it's boxing, maybe it's paintball wars, I don't know. But anyway, his first one was celebrity boxing. And of course, I used to box when I was younger, so I was interested. I was like, that's kind of interesting. Now tell me about it. Well, he started telling me during lunch about these things. And what he's doing and what he pulled off, he put together an event with multiple celebrities, live bands near one of our largest lakes, Grand Lake in Oklahoma, during kind of, I think, a holiday weekend.
Yeah.
And it rained, I think, a little bit.
It rained a little bit.
Rained.
It was
Promoter's dream. Rain.
It was everything. When I say when things can resist you and you keep fighting
Did you
through
keep
it.
digging? Yeah.
Yeah, and that's I even had a heart attack through the process of doing it. Or last 1 year from
A virtual heart attack or
a real heart
attack?
Yeah, I had in
Oh,
January
gosh.
of last year. I was under a lot of stress. I mean,
Yeah.
I had every reason to quit. And
Well,
from the
sometimes
heart
it is,
attack,
yeah.
the stress, and watching the weather
Oh,
apps and
yeah.
stuff like that.
Oh,
Is it
yeah.
going to rain? Is it going to rain? And
Yeah, because your event's all outdoors.
yeah, it's all out. It
At
was
the
all
lake.
outdoors.
So you're banking on the boaters, the vacationers over at the lake weekend.
It was scary.
Oh gosh! And you put everything you had into it.
I put everything, and I built it completely from the ground up. I mean, I started off with no money to put into it, to starting to raise money and this, and then it just started happening. And then I had the USA Boxing come in, and I had a boxing ring, and then I had the location. I had all these celebrities agree to it, and I'm like, celebrities are agreeing to punch each other in the face for me.
You're right,
I'm
right.
like, what?
But,
You know?
like you can sell ice and Eskimo,
Man,
right?
they
That kind of
just-
thing.
they
Nickel
came
four
in-
quarter.
It all started working.
Yeah.
It just came together, and I'm like, and I just started piecing it. But it's because I believed in myself, and I didn't let the self doubt. I didn't let the stress. Everything you start in life, if you're going to take this new journey, there's going to be a lot of scary moments, and I had them. I'm sitting in the back of an ambulance, and the lady said, "Dude, you're having a heart attack," and I was like, I started crying. I almost started tearing up. I'm like, man, I got
This
people.
stuff's gonna kill me.
This is gonna kill me.
Yeah,
And I'm
this is gonna
like,
kill me.
well, it was more like I'm leaving my family. I could leave my family behind. Too many people depend on me. They're counting on me, and it broke my heart. But then I realized the position I put myself in, where I set myself up for a lot of this. But
Mm-hmm.
I got healthy, and luckily it was pretty minor and no damage. Thank God. But with that event. And we kicked it off, and we made a pilot, and it got me a worldwide distribution deal.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what I want to talk about. You dang near killed yourself on
Yeah.
this. Okay. So that's a commitment to entrepreneurial spirit, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna dang near kill myself. But yeah, you reached out to me. I think you had a lot of people donate. A lot of people provided their efforts and time. And in fact, who we do our podcast with, Video Mike.
Yeah.
Video Mike offered and donated his time, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
To help you with video production and stuff like that, which we thank Mike, and that's who's doing our stuff now. And so if you need something, I'm not saying he's going to donate it, but you might look him up. Okay, so anyway, so you got all these companies, you got people involved, you basically are a gatherer of
I
resources.
got 20 bands
and,
to perform for me live.
and relationships, right? The key to business is relationships, right? You don't ever want to burn a bridge.
No.
No, there's some bridges you don't want to cross, but you don't want to burn it, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so in that, when you started this celebrity event, I know that you did not start this because you're like, I'm going to do a boxing fight with a bunch of celebrity people, and that was fun,
Yeah.
right?
No, it was
You saw a
lot.
vision.
I saw a vision. It was
What
a lot
your-
of thought
what was your vision?
process.
What was your vision? Give me long term. What was
So-
your vision?
I met the guy. His name is Damon Feldman. He's the creator of celebrity boxing. Over 20 years ago, he started with Todd Bridges and Danny Bonaducci and Vanilla Ice, all those stuff back in the day. And I've known him for 10 years, and I've sat on this for a little bit. I'm like, I think I could do this. But I do plan out things, and because I know things can get challenging in the way, so it takes me time, and I'll plan it out. Well, a few years later, almost 10 years later of knowing him, I said, I'm going to do this. And
What was the aha moment, though? What just made you go, I'm doing this? That had to be something.
Jake Paul started doing this KSI fighting and fighting these celebrities and YouTubers, and I just knew that the entertainment industry was changing. And let me get back up. I'll tell you what. So I retired from the entertainment industry because I was working in the entertainment industry for a while, and then I retired for a few years, and I backed out. And then when I moved back home, and I'm like, well, what's my purpose? And this is a big part of why I did this. It's probably the biggest part. I don't talk about it much, but I started getting into mental depression, and
yeah.
so and mental health is real, especially for men.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but can you kind of tell me what do you feel like was the segue? What was the trigger for you getting into that place? Were you having self-talk? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not good enough. Nobody likes
What's
me.
my purpose?
What's my purpose? Why am I here?
I've always
Right?
been this guy that, people, from childhood, everybody's like, Tommy's different. He's different than us. He's always got this drive. And then I just kind of wasn't as happy. I always smiled. And people ask me, the number one thing they always ask me, how you doing? I said, always good. And it's a lie. But I'm like, always good. And I smile and I shake their hand and then, ask them how they're doing and move on. And, but it was like a real dark time, the past few years for me. And I don't know why, just because I just quit the entertainment industry. I moved to a different state. The business that I love to do just wasn't there. So I was like, man, I got to create something new, So I go back to a carpet cleaning company. That was one of the companies I've had. Or should I start a make ready? Go back to the basics and start over. And because it was just tough. And then I started Jake Paul. I'm not a big fan of Jake Paul. Some people are. I'm not. He's a great boxer, but he's just not my cup of tea. But that did inspire me, though. Like watching, I'm like, why don't I get back in the entertainment industry? My friend Damon Feldman owns Celebrity Boxing. I watched him move. And then my fiance is Pippi Longstocking, and I'm taking her to events and meet and greets.
It's Tammy.
Tammy, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And Tammy Aaron, Pippi Longstocking, and but I'm like taking her and I'm booking her events. I'm booking all these events for her, and I'm setting this up, and then Damon Feldman does events of boxing. I'm like, I'm going to combine the two.
So you're gonna use your free resources.
Yeah, free resources.
Free resources.
Yeah, and
again, taking nothing.
No.
And I'm gonna create a business with nothing.
Yep.
Just my resources.
And that's it. I make calls. Cool. I'd go to these events and meet greets and these other celebrities. Hey, what do you think about it? You interested in this? And I'd meet these people, and then my inspiration started coming back.
Yeah.
And I started feeling it again, and I had to find
hopeful.
I felt hopeful.
Yeah.
And so then I started building it back up, and then I did Celebrity Boxing. Is this mic still working?
Yeah, I still hear you.
Yeah, just okay.
The light went off.
We can edit this, but okay. So let's carry on. Sorry about that. We got a little technical difficulty on our first deal here. Anyway, so in that you started using your resources, which were free, FREE, right? And those free resources allowed you to dream again.
Yep.
Okay, now let me ask you something. Let's talk because this podcast ongoing is going to touch on a lot of things, and for you and I both, faith is an incredible thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm personally a dedicated follower of Christ. I have a relationship. It's not a religion for me. For me, it's a relationship. I know God and I know Jesus Christ just as much as I know the wind's there. I can't see it, but when I'm outside and the wind's blowing, I can feel it.
Yep.
I have the same relationship, and I want to talk on that because a lot of times people in entrepreneurship or marriages or relationships or anything, they all get to that point at some point that you were just talking about. Mm-hmm. I'm hearing self-doubt. I'm hearing talk that I'm not good enough. I'm wondering what my purpose is. So when you were talking about that, Tommy, I was thinking in my mind, where were you in your faith at that point? Was your faith a 10? Was it a 2? Was it a 0? Was it?
No, my faith is always a 10. And I'm not one that loses faith like that.
Mm-hmm.
Some people do.
Conditional faith.
Yeah. I know some people, when times are tough, they feel like, where's their God? Why does this happen to me? Why am I sinking? I'm a little different. And I just knew, for me, I'm not doing something right. So I had to fix the situations that I'm in. And I had to create this. It falls on me. I take self-accountability for everything I do. And so the situations I'm in, I knew I have to fix it because I take a lot onto myself.
Well, that's right. But here's the thing, though. Is I know in my personal experience, my faith, when things aren't going the way I need them to go, it's because maybe I'm knocking on the wrong door and I'm doing what I think I need to do. I'm trying to fulfill my purpose. Yeah. And I have found through life where when things are like that, I have to do accountability, self-reflection. Yeah. And I have to say, hey, God, I'm going to work my tail off, but you're going to have to open doors that I need to walk through, okay? Because I've been knocking on doors and there's not a whole lot behind the door. They may open, and usually when God's not involved, I'm going to have to kick the door open. Yeah. But if God's involved, I kind of just open the door and walk on in, right? It's kind of like, come on in, the water's fine. Yeah. For real. And so when you were going through that situation and you're reflecting on your choices, the things you're trying to do, obviously, like I said, your faith is not conditional. Did you, at that point, ever truly ask God, hey, God, point me where I need to go? Yeah, where do I need to go?
Yeah, I pray all the time, to make sure I'm on the right path.
Do you think it's possible He put Feldman, He put Pippi, and these people in your life 100%. At that moment because you're saying, hey, help me out? I can't do it by myself.
I don't think anything just comes by, circumstance. I think, with hard work and faith and belief, God gives you opportunity, and He says, hey, I'm going to give you this opportunity to figure it out from there. Mm-hmm. He's not going to give all the answers. I feel like, I don't feel like it's like, boom, here it's done. You got to
That'd
put
be
the
too
work.
easy.
It'd
If
be
that
too
were the
easy.
case, that you wouldn't be able to get into any church in the world.
No.
They'd be all full all the
It'd be
time.
full.
You couldn't get in because everybody was like, hey, I want some of that.
I think
right?
opportunities
That's the
and doors
That's the
are
false
placed-
narrative of a lot of
Exactly.
churches. Hey, if you know God, life's great.
Exactly.
Nah,
No,
not that
you
way.
got to put the
Yeah.
work in.
Yeah.
You got to put the work in you. You got to put the work in God. You got to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
And that's what I did for me.
So let's move forward. Okay, so you got through that.
Yeah.
You got these opportunities. However, they came great. You used resources that cost you nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then you started your first event at Grand Lake in Oklahoma. That was what, about a year ago?
No, May.
In May.
Memorial Day, about 6 months ago.
So about 6 months ago. Okay.
Yep.
So since then, some really freaking exciting
In
stuff.
6 short months.
Okay. So let me do a summation of what I know. You're an entrepreneur at a young age.
Mm-hmm.
You built your business from basically cleaning supplies. Then you've gone on, you got in celebrity business. In fact, you shared with me that you wrote a manuscript or a screenplay that was picked up, right?
Yeah, so it's called Memoirs of a Medicated Child. So at this
Say that
time,
again. It was not made by the
Memoirs of a Medicated Child.
There we go.
So,
All right.
So, again, I'm just a guy from Oklahoma. I had a carpet cleaning business at the
Yeah.
time, and I recently divorced right before that.
Mhm.
And at this time, I'm thinking, okay, what can I do for me now?
Yeah.
You know, and because
Your creative self.
Yeah, my creative self. Because now
Mhm.
I have nobody to stop me,
Right.
and no excuses. So I'm like, let me try something different. So I
Mm-hmm.
wrote a movie, and it's called Memoirs of a Medicated Child. And it was rumored that Britney Spears might be in it, and that broke headlines everywhere. And it was on Extracts, it's Hollywood, MTV News, Associated Press. It was just they talk about it in languages I can't even begin to
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
And it went worldwide, and I was like, wow. So then I moved to Hollywood. The whole time I kept saying, I don't know why I'm doing here. I had no business of being in Hollywood. Like, it didn't make sense to me. And so, like, why am I here? Like, it just, like, happened. So I was nervous and
This
scared.
happened, right?
Yeah, it was just
how
scary.
Old, how old were you?
Oh, I was 29, I think.
Yeah. So you're a young guy, still
29.
making your way in the world.
Yeah, I mean, it's just recently divorced, so it's just something to try. I mean, but I'm still old enough. I'm like right before 30, but like it's one of those things. Like anything can happen to you at any age.
Yeah.
So
you
don't
can be
give up.
80. You know,
Okay.
Colonel Sanders, KFC.
Yeah,
You thought the
I did
same
that.
exact thing I thought. That's crazy, man. KFC was started by Colonel Sanders. He's 75 years old.
Yep.
I believe he's 75. 75,
Yeah, somewhere around there.
75. I mean, look at that.
But there's so
world's
many-
largest chicken maker, right? You
There's
know?
so many examples of that.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm always one of these people that never give up. You know, and whether you're having it tough at this moment, there's going to be a break for you if
Right.
you have faith in yourself and faith in the Lord and just
Yep.
move forward. But no, I pushed the script and it actually became a big deal. I moved to Hollywood and then lived out there, started producing and working on some projects, and then my friend said, "Hey, Tommy, move to New York. The people out here even better." I'm
Mhm.
like, "What?
Cool.
How does it get better
You're
than
like, let's
Hollywood?"
go.
And I'm like, "I'm
Let's
having a
go.
blast."
Yeah.
Moved to New York. Now I started
Now
working with.
you're a photographer.
I became
then,
a
right?
photographer, and I never was a
You shoot
photographer.
supermodels.
Yeah, so I never even was a photographer.
So you're
before this.
single, you're in your 30s.
It was a
about
blast.
the time you're shooting
Hit the
supermodels in New
nightclubs,
York
bottle
City.
service.
Okay, your life sucks, man.
Yeah,
All right.
it was.
You obviously don't know how to make yourself happen, right?
No.
Yeah,
but-
you're trying to figure it out.
Yeah, but it was funny because I've never done photography,
Yeah.
never done writing, never done photography. I've
But
never
you didn't
done.
let anybody know that, right?
No, I didn't let them know. But I started working with politicians. I got in
Yeah.
with some
Uh-huh.
politicians and started, and,
All of a sudden.
and then I'm like, okay, cool. And then next thing you know, I'm meeting a fashion designer. Now I'm at these nightclubs. I meet these fashion
You meet
designers.
the
Hey,
people.
New York Fashion Week's coming up. I need somebody to shoot my lookbook for me.
Yeah.
I need somebody to. I'm casting some girls. I need photos of all the
Like
girls
boom,
that's
boom,
there auditioning. Next thing you know, I'm a New York Fashion Week photographer, and now I'm working for a few years in New York as a fashion photographer making that shit. I'm like, how
Yeah,
did
okay.
this happen?
So yeah, I'm glad we talked on this because here's the cool thing because of what you're doing with your celebrity Sports Inc. Okay,
Yep.
what you're doing there, you're not really saying, hey, I want to learn how to breed racehorses and never rode a horse. You've put yourself in these environments where you have contacts, you have lifelong relationships
yeah,
to actually facilitate the celebrities that you need
Yeah.
and the promotion that's going to be necessary for you to continue your success in it, right?
Yeah.
So, in essence, you have over time been preparing for the moment you're in right now for decades.
Yeah.
You just didn't know it yet.
I didn't know, and I never saw this in my life. This coming, like I'm gonna do celebrity sporting entertainment business. You know, I like
Yeah.
that never made sense to me. I never crossed my mind, and until I did it. And then I took that risk and I took that jump and leap of faith. And I said, now if I'm going to do things, now one thing about me, if I do it, I go all in.
Let's do it. Yeah.
And I don't quit. Let's do it all the way. And then I'll sacrifice and put a lot on the line. I myself and to make sure it's complete, because I like to be honest about who I am and what I do. And if I tell the world, I start hyping something up, and I'm too. Tell you my biggest fear is looking like an idiot.
Well,
if I'm not completing what I tell, make such a big deal. So
you know what? Empty promises. They create a lot of people that look like fools, right?
Yep.
And then your credibility goes down. Then your next venture is like almost impossible to get off the ground. So, okay, so let's move forward a little bit. What's really impressive about your journey is that you said just recently, 6 months ago, you started the first event, and now you have moved on to some really exciting news, which you were telling me about Triller.
Yep.
You've been signed on with Triller, which handles a lot of the big no gloves fights.
Yeah, the bare knuckles fighting championship,
fighting.
And they did the Jake Paul, Ben Askren fight, Mike Tyson, Roy Jones Jr. fight.
Yeah.
Like, Triller is massive for their.
Yeah, the platform's huge, right?
Yeah, it's a huge platform for combat sports.
What's the reach roughly?
I think they say it's like 100 million
subscribers,
users, people who use it. They have like 10 million subscribers.
10 million.
10 million.
10 million.
Yeah, worldwide.
That's big.
Worldwide.
10 million.
Yeah,
this is streaming, right? This is a streaming service. So
they do pay-per-view and they do streaming.
Okay, so is that an app or is it?
It's an app.
It's a downloadable app, so anybody that has a personal device can get it, right?
Or they can watch it on Roku. They can watch it on all their devices.
Yeah.
Triller's everywhere. Yeah.
So if you have any kind of personal device, any subscriptions like Roku, Hulu, any of that stuff, you can probably get it, right?
Get it all. Yep.
So I mean, the market's pretty much broad and unlimited.
Unlimited.
With technologies, right?
Yep.
So now this is a huge thing for you to get on a platform like Triller. They took you on and signed a 3-year deal?
No, it's a 1 year.
1 year deal. Okay.
1 year worldwide contract. Worldwide.
So anything you produce, get involved in, promote,
everywhere.
1 year, they're your platform.
Yep. And then we'll pick up the second year. We'll naturally go into. We'll set it to make sure all the events are covered. We're working that out right now. But yeah, so it'll be a worldwide distribution deal, and. So we're super excited, and what's even more amazing about that is because Triller's a combat sports network. So they do like I said, fighting, MMA. They do wrestling. It's more all combat sports. Well, here we are. Different. We're doing celebrity flag football, celebrity boxing, TV, celebrity boxing, and then we have pickleball, and then we have
I think
basketball.
Paintball would be cool.
Paintball. We have paintball.
Paintball game or war would be cool.
Yeah, we have all the sports, and so we got all these really cool sports coming up. And they said, well, now they're using us and letting us be able to showcase a different, so they can reach a different audience too.
So is Triller going to partner with you and do some of their own promotion of your platform?
Yeah, I think the deal is that they're going to promote. They're going to definitely promote us, and then we're promoting them.
So they want to see your success.
They want to see me succeed.
So you're partnering. You're not just getting on and you're renting a space. You're riding the bus. You're on the bus, and they've got advertising on the bus for you.
Yep.
Right. So they're saying, "Hey, we've got a new platform, Celebrity Sports." Right.
Yep.
So they're adding you to their lineup.
Yeah, we'll be on their subscription base. So the Triller TV Plus. So we're basically a fixed thing. We're not a pay-per-view one time. So you'll be able to go to Triller TV Plus
watch your events
and watch it. And if you miss it, of course, live is always best. But then. It'll stay on the platform so people can still come back and see it. And,
so we talked about this time. I want to hit, and I'm sorry if I kind of cut short, but there's some things we need to talk about on this value. So we discussed earlier that I think you said one of the, I think it was a Jake Paul fight or one of those deals.
Yeah, Ben Askren.
They had like 1 million watchers on a subscription of $50
a ticket. Yeah.
That's $50 million.
A lot of money.
That's $50 million. That's one event.
That's one event that they did.
So here's what I'm saying. If they're doing business with companies that are associated with Jake Paul, probably Prime, that group, and they find value in what you're doing to say, hey, we want you on our platform, then they believe in what you're doing, or they wouldn't even mess with it, because they're ginning $50 million on one event.
On one event, yeah.
Yeah, so they're saying, hey, we want to give you a year, see what you can produce.
Yeah.
And so I guess, man, if you don't have companies just running at your door right now going,
we're working
hey,
on it, yeah.
Can we get in on the bottom level?
Yeah.
I've had NASCAR teams for 15 years. I've had IndyCar teams, NASCAR teams. everything we do in racing, people don't understand that, but it's driven through marketing partners.
Yeah.
I mean, racing is so expensive, millions and
So
millions and
expensive.
millions of dollars to compete at a high level, and the purses don't pay millions.
Yeah.
They pay, some races pay $1 million or $2 million, whatever. But it doesn't cover the cost for multiple employees, insurance, all that stuff,
Yeah.
right? So we live and die by having those companies
Yep.
on our race teams to market globally
Sponsors
to
are
their
very
customer.
important. Yeah,
to their
sponsors are
customer.
very important to industries like yours,
All
into
of it.
racing and
Promotions.
and promotions and sporting events. I mean, yeah. So we're working a lot of deals. We're talking to a lot of companies right now, and as we speak, we're talking to a lot of companies that are jumping on board. So that's pretty exciting.
Can we let's dig down and unpack that a little bit? So when you say we're talking, I hear business people, promoters say stuff like this all the time. So you're looking at a businessman that had multiple companies, made hundreds of millions of dollars over the years. So when you say that, you haven't lit my trigger yet, because I'm hearing you say, yeah, we're companies coming on and we're looking at platforms, and I'm going, all right, so what does it look like, right?
So one of our
let's unpack a little
sponsors
bit.
is,
What's that look like?
yeah, one of our sponsors is helping us do a tiny home giveaway, which we're excited about. We're working with Barn Brothers. They're Barn Brothers buildings out of Oklahoma City. They're actually building us a custom tiny home,
Okay.
and that we're going to be able to give away on Christmas of 2025. And the tiny home is about $70,000.
Okay, so all right, so what do you? So you're just going to put it on your website? We're giving a house away. I mean, how are you promote this? What is the company doing?
the
How are
promotion
they
is
involved?
we're promoting on all different platforms. We're definitely putting it on all the platforms. We're doing different things to promote it. Like we're telling influencers if they want to come in and jump in. Whoever pushes the most raffle tickets for the tiny home, we're going to give them $15,000
Yeah, any idea what those tickets are
or
going to cost?
$10,000. Yeah, they're $100 for each entry, and you get 2 tickets per entry. So your chances of winning are like 1 in 1,000
Yeah.
because you get 2 tickets per entry, and we're cutting everything off at 2,000 tickets. So we want to make it a winnable prize,
Yeah.
and not like
And I have
millions,
to, yeah.
millions of people entering. So we're cutting it off at 2,000, and then we're giving second place prize is like 15 grand, and if you want to be an influencer and help push these ticket sales.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever pushes the most tickets out of 2,000, which is very attainable,
Mhm.
gets 10 grand
Okay,
to
so
themselves. Yeah.
so let's talk about that company again. The tiny home company name is what? That's putting this
Barn
together?
Brothers Buildings out of Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City. So what is their primary business? They build like small
Tiny home
businesses.
shed.
That's what they
sheds.
do.
Shed houses and sell shed buildings.
So I'm going to assume that you obviously when I bring people in, I always look at who they are.
Mhm.
I don't just put companies on my race teams or anything like that
Yeah.
unless I know that what they offer is a good product, good
Yeah.
service, because affiliation is important in success, right?
Yep.
So obviously you've probably looked at these tiny homes. Are they really cool?
Oh, dude, the tiny homes are the best. So
That this company builds.
no, there's we got one on our website right now. It's going to be the one that we're modeling after.
Mhm.
So they're going to start the build on that here pretty soon. Probably I think in February. They're going to start the build on ours, but it's
Yeah.
going to be a little custom because we're going
Yeah.
to have some celebrity sports, emblems or logos
yeah.
or something. We're going to
Yeah.
customize it. That
It
kind of
probably,
works
yeah,
sometimes,
yeah.
But yeah, they build beautiful homes. They're solid. They're sturdy. They're modern. I mean,
Yeah.
they're completely up to date and modern.
So you have everything in it.
everything.
I mean, you can live in the sucker, right?
It's
Just-
100% livable. It's
Okay.
the one we have is a 1 bedroom. It's 1 bedroom. It's 16 by 40. So
Yeah.
it's got a 1 bedroom, full living room, full kitchen,
Yeah.
full bathroom. It got everything in there, and so tiny homes, everybody's just loving.
What would that cost typically retail?
I think about anywhere between 60 to 70,000. Now, if you really want to go really high end, you could put a lot
Mhm.
into it.
Does that company have like financing if someone's interested in getting a tiny home?
I don't know
like,
if they got
obviously-
financing. I know
Yeah.
they might have for some of their their sheds,
Yeah.
but their custom builds like that. I don't know if they do financing, but I think they're.
Do they have a website?
Yeah, I think it's Barn Brothers Buildings.com.
Okay. Well, if anybody's listening, if they're looking for a tiny home, obviously they're supporting grassroots business. It's making waves, man.
Yeah.
And so let's support them, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Check them out. And then, okay, so we kind of went off that a little bit, but I thought it's really important that you have a marketing partner
Yeah.
that's getting involved with you. So we want to drive business to them because
Absolutely.
we got to pat each other's back. That's business.
Mhm.
And that's a lesson too, guys, for your viewers. Young guys want to be in business. If you're going to be in business and you're not going to give back to the people that are giving to you, that's going to be a very short-term relationship.
Yeah.
One that you take care of in business, and is how I've built all my businesses, is I don't care if it's my mortgage companies, I don't care if it's my bankers, I don't care if it's my customers. I don't care if it's my vendors, whoever it is that works with me to help me become successful at what I do. I always promote them and appreciate them because I can't do the things I'm doing without them. So I'm grateful for them. So I always show as much appreciation as I can. That's really, really a fundamental part of building business. And so that's why we're hitting on this tiny home company out of Oklahoma City. Check it out because, obviously they're cool, right?
Yeah, that was super cool.
Okay.
Super great guys.
So they're putting that up.
Yep.
And so now they're getting the opportunity to get on all of your marketing platforms through, and Triller's one of them.
Yep.
So will they be included in like background banners or any
We're gonna put them on.
CGI imaging on videos or?
Yeah, we put their logo on a lot of our flyers and banners, and because they're one of our leading sponsors, giving away almost that, and then the land we're giving away as well.
You're giving some land away.
We're giving land. That's
Land away. So now you got a house donated.
Yeah.
And you got land given to you. You didn't buy the land. I know you didn't because
the guy who owns the company, he's a super guy. He's a super cool guy. His name's Rooster Vance. And what he does, he buys a bunch of land in Texas and he flips them. And he flips them. Yeah, he cuts them up, parcels them up, and he puts a piece back.
He's a landman.
Yep, he's basically the landman in Texas. Mm-hmm. And then he turns around and saves a parcel, and then he does a giveaway. So we partnered up with him on his giveaway, and so now we're getting up to 2 to 5 acres of land near San Antonio, Texas.
Yeah.
That we'll be able to put that house on, so people who
someone could get the land and they could win the house.
Well, we're going to put the house and the land together. If
you win the house, you get the land too.
Yeah, and
so now we don't have to ask our uncle if we can put our house in their backyard.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I want a house. Hey, uncle, can I put my house in your backyard? I just won this house.
Yeah, it's 16 by 40. I mean, imagine putting that in their driveway.
Yeah, right. So you may have to move to Texas if you need a place.
But that's cool. But if you know real estate or you're interested in being an entrepreneur, this comes to how to help people. You got a house, you got land, you put the house on the land, drop a septic and power. Now you got a $200,000, $250,000 investment that cost you a $100 ticket.
Yeah.
And now you can Airbnb it, you can rent it out,
that's awesome.
Vacation home, it don't matter. Like you can build a business off what we're doing.
You know what I think? Well, we need to get some influencers to go down when you get your house finished up.
Yeah.
And we need to do a video shoot.
Oh, yeah.
You got to do maybe a remote podcast with it, and that will turn it into celebrity lived in house giveaway. Tiny house.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be fun.
That'd be funny, right? I think that could help us generate a lot of activity and possibly more interest in the whole thing, which is promotion, which brings more companies in. So, all right, so now let's move forward. You've got Triller, which has a huge platform. Obviously, a million people watch the Jake Paul deal.
It's the largest, they say it's the largest combat sports platform in the world.
And now you're on it.
I'm on it.
Okay, so you're ground floor. And so you're looking, let's talk about companies. I know that, like I said, my racing teams, they live and die by corporate marketing partners.
Mm-hmm.
So and I suppose it doesn't even have to be someone that is using a corporation to market their products and services through your celebrity events. It could be just someone that wants to make an investment as a personal investment to get behind you while you're on ground floor. Heck, you might be the next eBay, the next Tesla, who knows what, or Bitcoin. You could be the Bitcoin and in celebrity boxing right now, or celebrity events. So there's all kinds of opportunities for people to I know you've talked to me, and there's equitable opportunities. There's opportunities to have individual returns on individual events, right? Isn't that right? And then there's obviously marketing opportunities for companies that want to have huge exposure.
I think like you said, doing these type of events, it all comes to a marketing game. So a lot of these companies, it's just a chance for everybody to market and work off each other and build brands and businesses. So the marketing opportunity here is, I think, pretty huge. Because right now, especially coming in on the ground floor, what we're doing, let's say somebody comes in and sponsors our next event, flag football. They say, okay, we want to dump $10,000 and be a sponsor. Well, your $10,000 sponsorship actually will carry out through all the way to 2026 to our last event.
You're kidding me? So they come in like that, and
their marketing value is just like their marketing dollars work better for them with us than they do commercials and advertising this, because between now, let's say, what's the day, January 5th, 4th, from now all the way to April 2026, and our next event is in June 1st. That's when we do the flag football.
So that's over a year.
It's over a year and a half of free marketing, not free, but marketing.
It's inexpensive.
It's very expensive when you break it down, and
Mm-hmm.
with television and the media that we're doing, like your marketing money is like goes a lot further.
In marketing terms, we call it bang for buck.
Yeah.
Right. What's our return on investment? What's the bang for buck? What is our reach? How many people? Right.
You're getting a year and a half to reach everybody we're trying to reach out, because the way we look at it is like, hey, you're jumping in on us because we're new, so we're going to give you the best value.
So Tommy, I'm curious, like, can you give me an example of some of, now I know this is going to get even better and better and better, but can you give me an example of some of the people that, celebrities?
Yeah.
And I know we've had, I'm not going to throw water on it, but I know you've had some celebrities that maybe you got to remind them what they were in, because maybe they're not a full household name, but we know as your popularity grows, those names are going to become more and more and more familiar.
Absolutely.
Well, as they do, guess what? The cost to get in as a marketing partner is going to go up too.
It
But so what you're
definitely
saying to me right now is if you get in early,
You're done.
you're in.
You're in for the next to 2026.
And you don't care if you got
Tom
Tom Cruise fighting
Tom
Hanks. Yeah, Tom Hanks. Yeah. So it doesn't matter who these names are. If you get in now, you've got an opportunity that's like you're in. It's just like it's like racing. You know, when you have a racer, I keep going back to race because I have so much knowledge of it. But like a young racer that's come up maybe 18, 19 years old, corporations will get in and sponsor those drivers that are young to help catapult their career. Well, next thing you know, they win the Daytona 500.
Yeah.
Well, these original partners are in for maybe a 3 to 5 year contract on marketing partnerships. Well, now the new guys are coming in at multiple millions, right?
Exactly.
But they're doing it.
But the other ones are grandfathered in because they were there at the beginning.
So you're on a ground floor level. You've got the infrastructure set up, right? You got distribution, which is number one.
Casting, got celebrities already attached.
You got the contacts.
Yep.
You've got celebrities lined up. You've got, you have everything.
Yeah, we got some cool celebrities.
Yeah, like, let's talk about those.
So on the boxing, people that were involved in the boxing that were there, we had, legendary movie Christmas Story that everybody watches.
Yeah.
It had Zach Ward, the bully, in there.
Oh, it was bullying on the. Was he a redhead?
Yeah, the redhead
guy.
Why
are little redhead kids always a bully in movies?
I don't know.
It's always little redhead kids.
And I have a redhead.
I know, yeah.
She's my bully at home.
Sorry about your luck there now. Yeah.
So we had Zach Ward. We had.
Who's Zach Ward? Okay, Zach's the
Christmas Story.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. And then we had former heavyweight champion of the world, Ray Mercer.
Oh, yeah.
He came there to commentate with Zach.
He was at the last event?
Yeah.
Ray Mercer was? Okay.
Yeah, Ray Mercer came out.
You don't want to talk to him sideways, right?
No.
Make sure he's paid.
So nice. Dude, he was so nice. I love Ray.
That's awesome.
We had EJ Snyder from Naked and Afraid. He's like 6-time star. He's the face of Naked and Afraid. If you look up anything Naked and Afraid, you'll see EJ Snyder's face right there.
Okay.
And he's got a.
So the Naked and Afraid fans are definitely going to recognize that guy.
Yeah, we had all the brands.
Okay.
So we got all these cool franchises. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's from Christmas Story to Naked and Afraid. Damon Gillespie, he's a great actor. He's a young kid. He was in The Society on Netflix. Tiny Pretty Things. Paint. He was in all these big movies.
Right.
And then he's a Broadway star too. So this guy's an upcoming huge star. We had Chad Tulik from Tila Tequila's Rock and Love. He was back in the day. He headbutted a guy.
I remember that.
That was funny. Johnny Vinokur, Johnny Vinokur's a longtime friend of mine, but American Vampire Story. Did Scott Baio's 45 and Single, and he's got a new thing coming up on Netflix called Famous in Las Vegas coming up. My business partner, so this part is important. I brought this guy Hassan Rashid in, and he was in the movie Black Panther. He plays for the Memphis Grizzlies dunking team.
Mm-hmm.
And it was at the same time I was talking to you, shortly after, I think after we had lunch, I was in town that day. I told him, I'm talking to Adrian, maybe I think Adrian might come in on this thing. He said, I want to get in on it.
Yeah.
So
he
was supposed to fight, but he turned around and said, hey, let me invest in this.
Yeah.
And so he invested in it, so he ended up becoming one of the part owners of the company.
So you're not having a problem raising money, because think about it. You've got the platform, you've got the distribution, you've got everything that guys looking for. You got the people, and we know that the headline's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. The names are going to be bigger and more powerful. Not that these people aren't big and powerful, but you know how marketing works. It's recognition.
So I went from there. Now we're doing celebrity flag football coming up in May. So
where's that going to be? Where are you going to do that?
Here in Tulsa.
Okay, so you're going to play celebrity flag football.
Yep.
On a football field.
Yeah, we're talking to a couple high school teams out here because they got massive stadiums.
So what do you think of Jinx, Wassa?
Jinx, Broken Arrow, and Owasso. Those are the three top. Those are my top three. And then I'm even looking at BOK right now. at the BOK Center.
Okay.
And so if the prices are right, we might.
BOK might be better because it's a small arena. Yeah, I mean, we were talking about
Yeah.
celebrities that got to run and they got.
Well, the
I'm just playing.
Tulsa
Yeah.
Oilers already play
Yeah.
there, so they got the AstroTurf I can rent and everything like that.
Right.
So, but on our next event, I forgot to say, and of course, my fiance Pippi helped host it. Yep.
Which is Pippi Longstocking.
Yep.
So one thing I want to bring up though is you've built a relationship with Andy Dick as well, right?
Yep.
And so he's been kind of helping here and there, and
Andy, I
Or
love
no?
Andy. No, he was supposed to be a part of the boxing event, but he
Yeah.
couldn't make it. Andy's Andy, and anybody who knows Andy, they all can tell you their Andy Dick story because everybody has an Andy Dick story. They'll say.
yeah, and the guy obviously has a long narrative of life that
Yeah.
people know, and they tell their own narrative, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Andy's great. He's he wants to be a part of a lot of stuff we're doing. I'm actually working on him with some other projects in the
Okay.
future. Right now he's focused on his family, and his
Cool.
new granddaughter he's got. So
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
and but
But he
he
probably can lead you
he
some
came
other
to
people
Tulsa
as well, though,
Yeah,
right?
he came out here to
Some more
Tulsa with
contacts.
me. Yeah, recently we went to Branson, Missouri, and we did an event out there. So he was out here in Tulsa, and we had a good time.
He was right here in the same studio, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Andy
Yeah,
Dick was here. I think
yeah.
there's a picture of him in here
Yeah,
somewhere sitting out here.
Yeah.
Him sitting right here actually in this chair.
Mm-hmm. At Mike's studio.
Yep.
Video Mike.
Yep. And but he was here, had a great time. We took him all around Tulsa, showed him
Yeah.
what Tulsa's cool, the
Yeah.
cool things here, and I think he wants to move
There's
here.
a lot of vibe here. A lot of celebrities love the,
So
the
much
culture
great
and
stuff
vibe
going
here
on
in
here.
Tulsa. Yeah. It's a good town.
And then, so on the new one, we have, if y'all remember American Gladiators, we have Ice, Lori Fetrick, if I said her name right.
Oh, that woman was,
Oh, she was
she just turned you inside out. You want?
insane, and she's still
That woman's
physically
built,
fit.
man.
She's
I mean,
still
she's
ripped,
built.
and she's
Just-
gorgeous.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful.
And EJ Snyder wants to come back in. He wants to play football. That dude has so much energy, so he's like,
Let's do it.
So he wants
Go.
to get in. We got
Go.
TJ Stukes from Squid Games. We got Tommy London, the host from SiriusXM, Hair Nation, and Ozzy's Boneyard.
Cool.
Ritzko Branchman, he's been in over 170 something movies. He's going to be hosting this. We got Miranda Maverick from the UFC. She's I think ranked 15 in the world for fighting.
Oh wow.
We have Jeremy Jackson from Baywatch, David Hasselhoff's son.
Okay.
All the Baywatch stuff.
Yeah.
We got Blake Foster, one of the most famous and popular Power Rangers out there, the Blue Power Ranger.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, he started off as a kid and then got it, grew up to there. So we got
You've got a pretty good lineup.
pretty good lineup. I mean, all
Would you say-
franchises.
Would you say this second production is going to have a even better lineup of more recognizable celebrities? Because that's what you're
Yeah.
selling. You know that. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
let's be honest. We're in business.
Well,
You're selling.
I'm selling entertainment.
You're selling entertainment, and you're selling popularity based on past experiences and things that people recognize that they
Absolutely.
look up to. Yeah.
Like Ice right now, Ice. I mean, Netflix just had a big documentary that came out for the Gladiators, American Gladiators.
Yeah,
That was a
yeah.
big show.
Yeah.
And of course, Squid Games was one of the biggest Netflix shows, up to
Yeah.
date till the Beast Games or whatever.
Mhm.
So we got Squid Games, we got Baywatch was America's favorite franchise forever. Naked and Afraid, great franchise. We got Black Panther, we got American Gladiators, Power Rangers. So I mean, we have and SiriusXM. So everybody's
So this is going to be a
brands.
huge event. It's
Yeah,
going to
I
be
mean,
a
it's
great event. So let me.
All
Okay.
great franchises.
So Tommy, Catching Kings, our podcast.
Mhm.
It's about business development. It's about relationships. It's about our faith. A lot of things. So we're going to go into a lot of crazy subjects besides talking about business, obviously. But in that, when you're doing this, I know because I'm a businessman, and I know you've got a ton of expenses to get this off the ground, just like you did the last one. Once your company gets to a break-even point and starts generating cash, well, there's not going to be as many opportunities for people to invest in that. So let me ask you, I know you need capital. I mean, we all do when we're starting
Well,
our stuff.
yep.
Okay, so like in my development company, I rely on massive banks to help me get construction development loans, right? And I'm grateful for them.
Yep.
So in this event coming up right now, what's that look like? Are you looking for just sponsorship? Are you looking for investment opportunity? And can you give me a quantitative idea? Like what does that look like? Like if I say you need 50 grand to cover this cost.
Yeah.
If I'm going to invest in your business, what am I expecting in return as an investor? And then what am I expecting in return as a marketing partner?
Yeah.
And how much do you need? And what returns do we get? I mean, tell me.
So if someone's coming in as a sponsor, again, their sponsorship and marketing dollars will stretch very long, so they get a lot
So
of
they get all
value through that.
Yeah.
If you come in as an investor, mainly we're trying to pull sponsors, but if we pull an investor, that comes in, that helps us kind of shortcut some things, so I can focus mainly on the business side of the event instead of always trying to raise funds. Because when you're doing events, anybody who's ever put an event or business together, raising funds is probably the toughest part of building a business.
Yeah. It is.
But once you get there, if someone wants to jump on with us, I mean, there's many levels of partnerships if they want to come in on that ground floor with us on what they're going to get. We definitely want to make sure that they get a piece of the pie, and then especially we're thinking about going into in a few years, in 5 years. So we're about the long term. So the long term plan for us is reality TV, sports gambling, and virtual reality. So your investment, you're going to have long term money that comes in. Yeah.
You're talking about his position of like a equitable ownership percentage of your entire project.
We can,
but you're not going to sell much of it. You're just going to sell a little
piece
bit.
of it, a little bit of it. Just
to help you get
make
off
sure
ground.
just make sure you have a piece of what we're doing, and
So would your return be commensurate with your ownership percentage? So like, let's say you've got $1 million value. Okay, let's say. Of course, you know how valuations are. They're only as good as what they actually do. Everybody values. But let's say you say, hey, I want $100,000. Would that get me 10% of the deal if it's valued at $1 million? And then would I get a 10% return on the net return of each event?
Yeah, so I
how would
think
that work?
it comes over with of course the overall what we bring in and minus expenses, obviously.
Yeah, so am I talking about it like I'm shooting this out there
Yeah,
because I want to attract
you
people
get a
that watch this.
Yeah, you get your 10% or whatever number we agree on, and you have that throughout
Yeah.
all the events. So you get a check every time an event's done from the television, from Triller,
Yeah.
or the
So
events
whatever
tickets, kind of
revenue
across the
less
board.
expenses.
Yep.
Whatever revenue less expenses, 10%.
Because you'll come in, as a partnership. Now, some people might want to come in as a loan, and
And just have a return.
Just have a return, and then
Yeah.
we'll negotiate terms like that. But
Mhm.
what we want to do is offer a partnership, and who comes in because it's one of those things that comes down to the people who believed in us at the beginning, and we want to make sure that we value them and give them a partnership. And say,
It's kind of like a reverse Shark Tank in a sense. It's
Yeah,
like, hey,
exactly.
I'm going to give you part of my business if you want it.
Exactly.
But I'd rather have you as a partner, a qualified partner, to help us.
Exactly.
So a tribe is important.
Its tribe is very important, and it's people who believe in you. It's like
Mhm.
it's a big thing because when you're talking about, hey, I'm going to bring a bunch of celebrities and make them punch each other on the face, to Oklahoma. People think you're crazy.
Yeah, I mean, first off,
it doesn't sound normal. Like Oklahoma people are looking at me like, "What are you talking about?"
What
Like,
are you doing?
no,
You nuts?
famous people who do
Gonna
been in
go
your
punch each
favorite
other.
movies are going to punch each other on TV.
And
right
you
here
get
in
paid to
Oklahoma,
watch
and you're
it.
gonna be a part, and you get paid to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so, Tommy. It was super tough,
Yeah.
and, but
But you pulled it off.
we pulled it off.
And here you are again. Now you're building your business.
And so now we're trying to say people who jump in, and we've self-funded that, So
Let me ask you this. So like, just like you didn't have a lot of money to start your first business, we may have some people listening now that are interested in what you're doing. That maybe they have $500 or they have $1,000 that maybe they can invest in what you're doing. Would you allow an opportunity like that?
I'll allow opportunities, especially if it's a chance for me to be able to mentor somebody, and I like doing that. I love mentoring people and showing them how they can turn money around. If they want to say, "Hey, here's $500," what I would do is definitely find a place for them. Find something where they have to see a return, but also kind of take that as a chance to mentor somebody who wants to try something new in their life.
It's funny, we're entrepreneurs, so I'm sitting here listening to you talk, and of course, anytime we talk, we're like group thinking.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here going, wait a minute, he just stumbled on something. We both did. So if you're willing to take a small investment, spin off of Celebrity Investments, right? And Celebrity Partners, Inc., right?
Yeah.
And then all these people that maybe want to be involved in seeing this thing come off the ground and learn and put their time in, you create a whole new opportunity for 100 people with $1,000. Well, $100,000 helps.
Well, it might be this thing. I've thought about this. Actually, I might put like a certain percentage. Let's say
a block of it.
A block of it, and then whoever puts in, and I was actually thinking about this the other day. I'm like, maybe I should put a little
A
piece over
collective group. Yeah.
and let people just dump in
Mhm.
500, and then whatever this percentage is, and split that amongst them.
Mm-hmm.
And I literally, funny you said that because I forgot I even thought about that. But I was like, I think
I'm
of
glad we
things.
thought about it.
And,
Spark your mind again.
Yeah,
right?
because I was thinking about that the other day with Tammy, and I was like, I wonder how that would work.
Yeah.
And look, and just, it gives people a chance to be a part of something.
Be part of something.
There'll be a spot for them, and their return will come in whatever that percentage is.
Yeah.
And
You know what's funny? It seems kind of funny, and I know I'm gonna call it what it is, but people are often like intrigued by celebrities, or you wouldn't even be doing this.
yeah,
But I've known a lot of celebrities in my life, and once you get to know them, they're pretty much just like you and me, but they're really good at what they do.
yeah,
You know, and so for the people out there that want to know these celebrities, they may want to just get involved in your program because they get to meet all the celebrities, be part of what you're doing, and
Absolutely.
and it puts them in a position where maybe they never have that opportunity to be around people and figure out what it is about those people
That's
that
what
make
I
them celebrities.
really love about why I'm doing this here in Oklahoma.
Mhm.
I mean, we have this 4-state region, Texas, 5 states,
Mhm.
and but we're like in a certain region right now of Oklahoma that all these celebrities come here when they don't spend time here, and you get a whole collective group of them, and you get a chance to be with them and talk. Like you said, they are just like regular people.
Mhm.
Like, listen, you're a professional builder. I'm not. But if somebody who aspires to be a builder and they're like, oh shit, that's AJ Berry Hill Homes.
Yeah.
This beautiful home.
And I've had people say that, man. Oh, you're like a legend. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not a legend, man.
But you are. I mean, but see, so some people they're like,
Yeah.
oh, but then when they meet you, oh, he's just a normal
just a
person,
normal
but
guy.
you're like really good at what you do.
That's it. That's it.
And,
Yeah.
But you're really good at home building,
Mhm.
and I'm really good at.
That's
I love
promotion.
these small business and
Mhm.
promotions and stuff, and I'm really good at that. These celebrities are good at acting, and but they're really just normal people, and
Yeah.
a lot of them are great, and everybody we've had a part of this so far. All the celebrities that's been a part of this has been tremendous
Right.
and super supportive of me
Mhm.
jumping on this early because I mean even they have to take a chance on me, and so like yeah we'll jump in on it.
Let me ask something.
Hey, guys, just want to let you know we're an hour in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
But let me ask you something, Tommy. This is the thing. Is like I said, I've known a lot of A-list
Yeah.
celebrities and had some really good relationships with some, and people always ask, what is it about those people that become celebrities, or maybe they're an athlete, maybe they're an actor, a musician.
Mm-hmm.
What is the common denominator of the ones that I've had this question of them that actually make them not a celebrity but a mega celebrity? Okay. I'm curious what your opinion. I know what my opinion is. What I
Yeah.
see that's a common denominator of the megas, not the average, but the mega celebrities. I'm curious what you think that number one
I think it's
characteristic or trait is.
I mean, physically, a lot of people see the tall and the square jaws and
Mhm.
that perfection look. I mean, talent, it's just industry stuff. Like, it's really for those people that makes them mega, it's really the relationships that they built, who they know. And that's the reason why they got there to me. And the years I've worked, it's just basically the relationships they built or they were introduced to that got them there. And it's who you know, and then, the contracts you sign. You
Yeah.
know, but
Yeah.
a lot of these people, I think,
Well, you were just talking about how they're all they're just like us, right?
yeah, they're just like us and all of them. So if you were to meet some of these celebrities, Bill Hader, he's from Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see him on Saturday Night Live, and then you see him on all these movies, but before that, he was just an Oklahoma dude, just a guy from Tulsa,
somebody,
but no one knew who he was, and he was nobody, he was just a
Mhm.
normal guy that people knew.
Yeah.
That just happened to now
Make it.
make it.
I'm gonna give you my insight on that. Like I said, I know currently still have a lot of close friends that are pretty high profile. But what I'm gonna say is, of all those people, the one thing I've noticed, the ones that seem to have a long career, they get opportunities, they're adored by their fan base and so forth, they're humble.
Humble. Yep.
They're humble.
I mean,
You would
so many
think,
of them.
they're worth $200 million. People put too much emphasis and value on things of this world, the money, the possessions.
Keanu Reeves is a good example of that.
Yeah, gives away, does a lot. But that's the one thing I've noticed. It seems like the ones that are really legit they're humble. They don't care. Yeah, they may have nice things. They may be afforded opportunities, but it's just opportunities and it's nice things, and they're humble about it. They don't.
Yeah.
It's super cool.
You're right. I mean, everybody I've met through the years of entertainment, one thing is they were all pretty humble, and
Probably because they had to work their ass off.
they had to work their
get
ass
there.
off, and now they're
They
like,
know what it took.
now they're breathing.
They're like,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're running like
the macaroni, cheese, and ramen noodle days are over,
Exactly.
baby. But they'll never forget it.
they'll never forget it.
You know,
They
that-
remember that.
Man, that's the thing. You know, the old rich, new rich. It's funny, you get around old rich, you don't know what they got because they don't give a crap. They've had it forever and they don't care. They're used to it, and to them it's no big deal. But what I found with wealthy people, like truly wealthy people, not people that want to look wealthy and buy all the brands and stuff.
Yeah.
Truly wealthy people, they don't. They really don't care what you have. They care what you have.
Yeah. Exactly.
Those are the things that I've seen
about.
The people that have truly been there, they don't care what you drive, what you have, whatever. Now, they want what they. I guess God's removed the challenge of survival and things like that out of their lives, you know. And so now they're almost at a deeper level, a conscious deeper level, that their life importance are relationships, experiences, seeing things in this world that some people don't get a chance to see.
And a lot of them will tell. I mean, they'll tell you like, if they don't keep their humbleness, they'll all say, it's lonely at the top because they didn't keep the humbleness.
Yeah.
And when you don't stay humble, those are the ones who are at the top that always feel isolated and alone. They don't have the real friends. They don't have nobody because they never stayed humble.
Justin Bieber song.
Oh yeah,
The one where he's saying, "I'm so fucking
Where he's
lonely."
like, I was a kid.
I'm so fucking lonely, and he's sitting there talking about all this fame and these people around him, but I'm dying, man. I'm so alone.
Yeah.
Right. And that happens a lot. You say you went through a divorce, you've been through relationships, whatever. I've gone through some divorces in my life, and I've gone through successes in business and so forth. And it's really interesting to me, and I'm bringing this up because we need to address intuition and boundaries as men, okay?
Absolutely.
If you drive a brand new Porsche, whatever, turbo, blah, 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 I'll get you some friends to go out to the club with, to go have dinner. You got a big fancy house, that'll get you some friends. You got a pool, maybe you got a nice yacht, maybe you got a jet.
Everybody loves hanging out with you.
Hey man, you're going to be everybody's best friend.
Yeah.
I've been that guy.
Mm-hmm.
I've been that guy. The part of it, the strange, Tommy, is I've earned everything that I've gained. My family has had money, but my father was one, you earn it.
Yeah.
My first car was a $2,300 1978 Camaro that I had to rebuild the engine on because that's all the money I could save up.
My first car I got when I was 18 because I went through a windshield of a car and the insurance money helped me get my
Help you get the next
I was
one.
in
So you had to,
I
you
was
paid
in-
with your
I
body.
was passenger
Oh my
of somebody
gosh.
else's
Oh
car.
gosh, and that's how you got your first
And that's
car.
how I got my first car from being sitting
Yeah,
there
right.
running through their windshield, and I'm like, I can afford my first car.
All right.
My parents had a successful company, but my dad said you got to earn what
Same
you
thing.
get.
Right.
And they never gave me anything. I never got an inheritance, never trust fund, and it was one of these things that my dad said, if you want it, you got to earn it by yourself.
But he gave you something more value. He gave you the ability to believe in yourself and to learn how to figure it out.
Absolutely.
Right? Okay, so kind of same thing with me. And then, so in that journey in life, when you learn to depend on yourself and work through, the hard times, those are the tools you need to be successful. So these people that always think, if you're a young person or whatever, whoever you are, and you're trying to build a business or you have an idea, you don't necessarily need someone behind you to go to catch you when you're falling.
Yeah.
Because I find when you're falling is when you learn the most.
Mm-hmm.
And you may completely fall.
Yeah.
You might. But
Well,
it's
100%.
that fall where you learn. So, have you ever heard you make your mess your message?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that. You
Yeah.
get yourself in a mess, well, then you get yourself out of it, and then you tell other people, hey, don't do what I did
Don't
because
do
this sucked. And so surround yourself with those kind of people too that, if you want to be an entrepreneur, I'm working on my stuff. So you're reaching to me and we're talking about it because you feel like I can help you and you can gain information and knowledge and as well I can learn from you. And so we strengthen each other in a sense. And so in that there will be, I have no doubt that there will be good success in things that we do together or people we introduce each other to in the future. So when you start a business or you want to change something in your life, which is a good time to talk about because this is the new year, through 25. I mean,
We just started 2025.
yeah, so men, that's one thing. Tom, I don't know if you do it, but I've already started mine and I'm almost completed with it. I always look I want to be intentional, I want to level up, and I want to be purposeful.
Yep.
Okay? Well, I can't be purposeful and intentional without a target.
Yeah.
Okay? So let's say I want to play darts and I'm holding darts in my hand, but I don't have a dartboard. Right? I don't have a goal. I don't have a target.
Yeah.
I got to get a dartboard.
You gotta get a dartboard.
Okay. But the only way to get a dartboard in your life, and let's go on the business side first. I want to build my business, and I want to take the business I have now, and I want to take it to this level. Okay. So I have to define the level. I have to be very clear and intentional what I expect by the end of the year, and then I have to make that obtainable.
Yep.
That's where people disappoint themselves.
Yep.
They set these lofty goals. And they say, I'm going to hit this goal. And it's unobtainable.
It's unobtainable.
It's unobtainable.
Such high. I mean, I do believe in setting high goals for yourself, but obtainable high goals.
Obtainable.
Obtainable high goals. Because it does. But I've always been this type of person, okay, I want to be here. I want this goal. But I also know that if I come short from this, wherever this situation is really what I want it to be. And so I make sure that there's goals in between. You know, I know there's a bigger picture, so you always like 5-year plans and all that stuff. You always
That's
say,
your giant macro goal. I mean, that's your if the
but I
world,
always know if
everything
I'm
came
here,
together, right? Yeah.
and I start here, and I want to be here.
Yeah.
If I come here, I've succeeded a lot. So for me personally, I set obtainable goals. So being here is obtainable. It's just how the time frame.
Right.
But what I really want to be is here because it's very comfortable right here. So I set obtainable goals, and all the way through the way there's a bunch of goals. So I set a lot of goals.
Okay, so that's right. So you got to have your target. You got to know what you want. And then after you get your target, you need to have your sub goals. And those here's the cool thing is you know when you go like try to learn a new sport or you're trying to do something and it's really hard to maybe hit hoops from 3-pointers, right? But you keep practicing, and then all of a sudden you're hitting a hoop from a 3-pointer, right? It feels good. But you set a goal that you could do if you try.
Well, you had to set the goals to start hitting the layup first.
Well, right.
Learn
But
how to
you
dribble
start
first.
hitting things. If you know you can throw the ball between the 3-point line and the freaking goal, then eventually you're going to be able to hit it. If you practice and you try. Now, you may not be talented at it, but you can do it.
But you're going to get
But you can still hit it. Right?
It's obtainable.
So it's obtainable. Now, if I said I'm going to go to the opposite end of the basketball court, and by the end of the year, or in 4 months, I'm going to start hitting nothing but net, right? Probably not. It's probably not going to happen. Probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
Right. So defining obtainable goals is really important, and the reason being is once you go and you're on, say you're at the free throw line, and I'm shooting free throws. Okay. Well, I say next, I want to be able to hit 10 free throws in a row. Right. Once I hit that and I do it, and it may take me a lot of work. What I do,
you're super proud of yourself.
I gain confidence in my ability to achieve
exactly
with hard work.
Yep.
So if you have a short term, like a year goal, and you have all these little goals that are obtainable, you get more confident.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, think about what we talked about in the beginning. You got better at your pitch. You got better at your putting people together because you kept hitting goals. Right?
Well, that's life is about that. It's like you said at the beginning, it's relationships, and then you do get better, but it takes a lot of practice. And then you got but practice is setting the micro goals, to get to that macro.
To the macro.
So once you get there, but it's just practice and repeat and rinse. Just keep going until you get perfection.
You're absolutely right. My mom, bless her heart, she's passed away. She's one of the hardest working, most amazing, smart, funny people I've ever known in my life. Entrepreneur at heart. I've never known my mom to actually have a job. Wait a minute. Okay, some people start a business, and some people open a business, but they're really just creating their own job.
Yeah.
Right? I believe in creating businesses.
Yeah.
I don't want to create a job.
Yeah.
Okay, my mom would like to create a job.
That's a great one.
I love her, man. She bust her butt, man. I'd hang wallpaper with her in these builders' homes when I was like 16. We'd be at 3, 4 in the morning hanging wallpaper. I gotta go to school and football practice. You know, I'm worn out, but I gotta help my mom, right? And I'd be like, Mom, why don't you do this during the day like most people? Well, because I got things to do. Okay, Mom. Anyway, so my mom, she could get things going, man. She could get you to
She's a
do
grinder.
anything, right? She could sell anything. She could get people behind her. And the one common denominator about my free-spirited entrepreneurial mother is she wouldn't stick with anything.
Yeah.
She'd get it kind of going and making it happen. And hey, guess what? I just bought a circus crew or something. Like, you did
Yeah.
what? Oh, we're going to have a circus.
Move on to
Mom,
the
what
next
about
one,
that
yeah.
printing business you just started? Oh, yeah, that's good. Anyway, it was always something new, right?
Yeah.
And some people are just like that. But one of the things I've noticed is consistency. Consistency. I mean, if you work out, can you work out like once every month and see results?
No.
But if you do it 3 days a week,
Yeah.
not even all the time, but 3 days a week,
Yeah.
can you see it?
You'll start
Sure.
seeing results.
Yeah. So it's consistency and staying with it to get to the end goal. So I think that that's really important for starting
Yeah.
huge companies.
Well,
is
that-
staying with it. It's gonna
That's the
hurt.
other thing you'll hear. Almost every entrepreneur, they'll say one of the other things that they say is consistency.
Consistency.
You know, they don't
100%.
talk about failure. They talk about taking risk, and they talk about consistency. And it's, you know, people are listening. It's not just him and I just saying this, but
That's a fact.
it's literally a fact for anybody who's ever been there. Like,
Accomplished anything. It's been staying with it and being consistent day in
Mhm.
and day out.
That's the
You
number
gotta
one thing.
stay with it.
well,
even when
all
you
these
feel like
people
you're
who are
failing.
YouTubers and streamers, like, you know, right now, streaming and all these, you know, social media is like such a big thing, and some people give up. They're like, I want to be a YouTuber, I want to be a TikToker. But they're not-
I want to be instant
they
fame.
all want to be that instant,
Yeah.
but none of them make it because they don't stick with it. Like, man, I've been working at this for 3 months and I haven't made nothing. We'll keep going another 3 more months.
Mhm.
Then go another 3 more months. Something will hit.
Mhm.
You know, but it's a consistency that will be there. And also, when that one hits, guess what? The algorithm kicks in, and all your other stuff doesn't hit viral. And then now it all is growing. Now you got a paycheck from whatever social media. you
Yeah, it's
said.
crazy, right?
But the consistency that got you there, instead of giving up and then
Mhm.
I'm gonna try something else. You know,
Yeah, you know what's
it's
funny?
consistent.
Yeah, it's consistent. And you know what's funny is all the folks out there that aren't willing to do the work, that like to say, oh, well, okay, let's look at this. In 2 years, let's say you're the biggest platform out there and you got $100 million in sales on each event going and it's happening, right? Man, Tommy's lucky. That's
Oh,
the
that is
luckiest guy. That is the luckiest guy I've ever
I
known in my
literally
life.
had this
That's
conversation.
the luckiest guy.
Someone texted me that the other day, and they said,
You're so lucky.
well, they made the joke, like you said, they said, oh, can't wait till you get big enough till people say you're lucky. I heard that. You know,
Yeah,
when you're big
yeah.
enough that, when you get big enough, people are going to say, you know, people love to get big enough to say they're lucky. I'm like, man, I wish I could say I was just luck. My friend actually calls me token. And my friend Brandy, she calls me token. Like, Tommy, everything happens for you. Like, all this stuff. I'm
It's
like,
because you sat around your couch, right? Played video games?
Man. She turned around, she's called me this for years. Token. I'm like, because all this cool shit just keeps happening to you. How does all these
Yeah,
opportunities?
how's it happen? Yeah.
I'm like, because I'm busting my ass. You
Yeah.
know, like,
So the harder you work, the
Yeah.
luckier you appear.
yeah, man.
Right.
It's just so crazy. But yeah, the lucky term, man. That's
Yes.
funny because I literally just had
You're
that
so
conversation with
lucky.
somebody.
You're so lucky.
You're lucky to be
Oh,
where
you're
I'm
so
like,
lucky. I get that all the time. Is like I get people. Oh, you know, one of the. And if any of my friends are watching, or anybody that's called me this, there's 2 things I absolutely hate people to say about me.
Yeah.
I hate it when someone walks up to you and goes, "Hey, easy money."
Easy money. Oh,
Can't.
shit.
Oh, lights me on fire.
Yeah.
Now, do I let them know? No.
No.
Sometimes I may say, "Hey, I don't really like being called easy money."
Yeah.
Well, why not easy money? And I'm like, I don't like it, man. Nothing I've had's been easy.
Been easy. Nothing.
And sometimes I'll talk about it, sometimes I don't. And the other term, it may be a word of endearment,
Yeah.
but I don't think it is. I don't care if I go to convenience. I don't know if it's an error I have, but if I go to convenience stores, it may be a perfect stranger and I'm making conversation. It may be my friends.
Mhm.
Hey, boss man.
Boss man.
I'm boss man.
Yeah.
How the heck did I get the label boss man?
Yeah.
Right? So obviously I'm putting off some kind of a error or confidence or something
Yeah.
that people call me boss man. But to me, the people that work with me, they're my partners.
Yeah.
I'm not their boss. I'm their authoritative.
You're there. They know where you're at.
Right.
But
You don't need to label as your
there's
boss.
no label.
man,
Yeah,
you
I
know?
like that. So everybody I bring into my companies as Celebrity Sports Inc. is, I give them a title. Like I was talking to a guy. I said, you're the director of corporate sponsor sales.
That's right.
I'm like, you're you. That's your title. That's your
you.
job.
Yeah.
Nobody has to call me boss, but this is your title.
Mm-hmm.
And then and I say when I talk about the company, it's like we are doing
you're
this.
a group.
We guys, we're doing this. Guys, are you excited? We're signing a Triller. We're doing it. Like I make it. It's us. It's because it's a team effort. Because everybody that's jumping in on this and being a part of this is, everybody's piece has been so contributing to what we're doing over here. It's like it's a we.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Even though ultimately, if you want to say boss man, like, I'm the one stressed and going through it. They're not going through. They're not taking the risk and challenge I'm doing. But I don't like it either. I like that it's a we. I like to share it because I can't do it without you. And,
Absolutely.
And this is how it is.
So we've we might be able to actually kind of split this up in a couple of segments and we'll do some edits on it. But I'd like to kind of segue a bit. We've talked about how we met. Mm-hmm. Now, and we're both graduates from the same high school, too.
Jinx,
yeah. Went to Jinx High School. Good school. We talked about how we met. We talked about how kind of your first business opportunity was through me, giving you a chance, believing in a kid with a bucket and some squeegees or something, basically.
I think I had was.
Here I'm a young man, and I'm on the hook for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I'm going, I'll give a guy with a bucket a chance, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so that goes back to your sales pitch abilities, so cool. And then kind of the things you're progressing forward with your celebrity sports brand, which I know is going to be incredibly successful. I'm excited for your future in it.
Appreciate it.
It's going to be super cool. I'm going to do more with you in that. As we move along through things. And I'm going to introduce you to some of my tribe that can also be influential to you and help you. Again, there's our tribe. Those are common like people that are going to help us do some cool things. And so I guess on me, we haven't talked a whole lot about my background.
Yeah, I mean, because you come from, like we said, you're not ezy money.
No.
So there's a lot of pain and growth that you've had to go through in your life.
A lot of misperceptions, I should say. Okay, so I'll give you a little bit on my background real quick. My grandfather was a Greyhound bus ticket taker at the downtown Tulsa Greyhound station.
Yeah.
Back in I think it was the 30s, late 30s.
Wow, Greyhound's been around that long?
Oh, yeah. It's been a long time. Awesome. 30s, 40s, I think. Yeah. It's been whatever. It's early. Let's see. Moved to Tulsa be 30. Maybe late 40s. Late 40s. Okay. So he was quick on him. His name's Matt Berryhill, Senior. He was a child of 9 kids. I think the youngest. Okay, from Ardmore, Oklahoma. Where our family was. In fact, they still have a historical Berryhill home in Ardmore. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
And, anyway, so he got to Tulsa, and he's an entrepreneur. So he's working a job, right? Well, he saved his money, being smart. That's another thing on business. When you make money, doesn't mean go spend it. It means save it, and use it for opportunities. Eventually, you'll get so much money that you can start spending money, and you have money for opportunities as well. But until you get to that point, save it. Okay, so my grandfather used his salary, and this old boy came off the bus one day, and he said, hey Matt, he said, I gotta go see my wife and kids, and I need like $5. Now $5 then is probably like $100.
Yeah,
right?
That's a lot of money back then.
And so my grandfather gave him $5. My grandfather was a Superman, just honest, decent, good man.
Yeah.
Gave him $5, said, I understand you will see your family go. So he goes off on his bus ride, comes back, gives my grandfather's $5. Well, this happens a few times, and my grandfather said, wait a minute. So then he said, I'm going to give you $5, but I want you to give me $6 when you bring it back. Right? So now, funny thing is, my grandfather started a loan shark business. So he's taking the opportunity to be a Greyhound bus ticket taker, and he's loan sharking to the customers along the way, right? Well, he's trying to make his way.
You can't beat that.
Yeah, I mean, right? So it probably didn't have license and regulation for that kind of thing at the time.
No.
Probably not. Anyway, so he's probably okay. Anyway, so he parlayed that into an investment into a restaurant. Fast forward. The restaurant was called the Original Chili Bowl. The Original Chili Bowl was a restaurant. Well, he made good chili. and people started to ask to take it home back in the day. And so he started freezing 1 pound bricks of chili so that people, when they ate the restaurant, they could reach in the freezer case, get their chili, take it home, put it, eat it later or whatever. Okay. So in that, the popularity grew. He started a manufacturing distribution company where we made chili products, seasonings and chilies, and got in the local Reese's and grocery store network around town. Well, that over the years developed into my father, Bob, who's now passed, and my uncle, Matt, Jr., ended up taking over what my grandfather started, which evolved at this time into full chili products, distribution of food products. The company's called OCBI, Original Chili Bowl Inc., and then Deli Foods distribution. Anyway, so moving forward, my grandfather passes away. My dad and his brother end up, like most families have, differences on how they want to see the company grow.
Yeah.
And so my dad was working on the food service side, like going into snack bars and restaurants. And if you got, like, give an example. Go to Sonic, you get chili. That's chili bowl chili. All right. So that was the market my dad was going for, because he thought, hey, why sell retail 1 pound bricks or whatever little tubs of chili? Let's sell 5 pounds in a tub and do 6 of them in a case. We can sell 30 pounds.
Sonic is selling.
That's been chili bowl account forever.
Really?
Yeah. So a lot of people. So long story short, my dad ends up buying his brother out.
Okay.
So now he's the sole owner of the company. I grew up in the business doing food sales and traveling all over with food shows and food service routes. Okay. So that's where I got a lot of my knowledge on business is through absorption and basically being around it, seeing big deals happen.
Yeah.
So I remember my dad was gone all the time, working his butt off, and he landed his first big account with a distribution company, White Swan, out of Dallas, Texas. And until then, again, I said we saved money. Even though our family had a little bit of money, my dad was a saver, you know. We didn't blow money. And I remember he called back to the house to my stepmother and said, hey, listen, I know it's new school year, but man, we just got this account I've been working on forever. It's going to be great for our family. I want you to take the kids, go get them some new school clothes, go to that fancy French store, and be sure you get it all there at Target. Right? So that was my dad's level of going off the hook was Target, right? All these other kids, they were getting, you know, whatever, the Izods, and we were getting, probably Ezods or something. Anyway, you know, the off-brand. But that was okay. And I was excited for my dad, right? So my dad built this business, and I thought I was going to go into it when I graduated from college. And it didn't happen. So plans in life get derailed, like we talked about. You got the valleys. You're like, what do I do? Blah, blah, blah. Well, I was going to Grand Lake with my dad because he asked me to come home from Oklahoma State University and help him take a TV to the lake. That's when TVs were furniture, remember? Mm-hmm. Okay, so on the way, we're going to the lake. My dad proceeds to tell me, hey, we've been in negotiations for a year, and we're getting ready to sell the company to Keebler. Cookies and crackers and, you know, the Keebler-Ells. Yeah. And I'm like, I graduated in May. When's this? We're closing the deal in June.
Jeez.
I'm married to my kid's mom. I got married in college, right? I was one of those guys that just fall in love hopelessly, right?
You were ready to jump in on it.
Yeah, let's go. I'm going to go to work. I've been paying the dues, da-da-da. So now I'm sitting there with a wife, graduated from college. I skipped all my business opportunities, all my employment opportunities. So I have nothing to fall back on.
That was it.
That was it. I lost it. I got fired before I got hired.
Hey.
so now I'm in go mode, right? So I'm like, Dad, can you help me out? You'll figure it out.
Oh, man.
I'm like, oh, I've been investing my entire life here.
That's
I didn't
it.
go through job fairs. I didn't interview with any companies I've had. Come on.
Yeah, my life was you. This business.
And it's gone. It's gone. And so, could I have decided to sit on the couch and play video games and smoke weed and get drunk? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Was that what I was going to do?
No.
Heck no. Not anything close. I decided I was going to figure out how to make it happen. Yeah. So I got into it. I found this crazy thing. I found this couple that Well, I've been in and out of restaurants my whole life and had some jobs through high school working in restaurants. So I thought, I'll get a restaurant. I can make a restaurant work.
Yeah.
But I didn't have any money. So there's two problems. I had a dream.
You had the dream.
But this is where the will comes in.
Yeah.
I had a dream, I had an idea, but I didn't have a vehicle to get there. Money.
Yeah.
But, so I found this couple that were putting a restaurant up for sale.
Yeah.
Little hole in the wall, greasy spoon hamburger place. And I went to them and I said, hey, would you be willing to let me see your book? Okay, remember, I graduated. I'm 21 years old. You know what a 21-year-old kid looks like?
Oh, like a teenager.
And I'm coming in and saying, I'm going to buy your business. Oh, and by the way, I don't have any money.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm going to buy your business.
They're like,
okay, whatever. But I'm speaking the language, right?
Yeah.
I'm saying, hey, where's your marketing dollars? Let me see your budgets. I need your financials, your P&Ls. Let me see what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I'm speaking the language. I'm not just some dumb kid that has
Yeah.
a pipe dream. And I said, look, I'm going to figure out a way. If I like what you have, I'm going to figure out a way to do this. Believing in myself.
Yeah.
Right? So I go through this. I look at the books. One thing I noticed on their books is they didn't have any advertising and marketing money on their books. I'm like, where's your marketing and advertising?
Yeah.
Well, we don't need it. I said, well, what do you mean you don't need it? I said, I think at the time they were doing monthly sales of like $12,000
Oh, wow.
total. All right, they had like 4 employees, 2 were part-time, or all 3 of them were part-time, and then they had jobs. They
Yeah.
created, owned jobs, is
Yeah.
what they had. And so that was my first business opportunity. So what I did is I talked them in. I had a car. You know, it's funny, I went to a bank. This is a life lesson for everybody going into business. Banks can help you, and they're critical, and your relationship with banks is essential
Yeah.
to being successful. But I went to a bank that I'd been doing some business with, had a car loan with, trying to build some credit. And I go to the banker and I said, listen, I need a loan because I can buy this restaurant for $35,000. And I can make money with it. They wouldn't loan me the money,
Damn.
right?
Yeah.
Now, here's how difficult it can be. This same bank was the same bank that did all the business with my dad's company, the Chili Bowl.
Oh, jeez.
And they turned me down. And previous to that, my dad's freaking deal was in the newspaper. He sold his company for a gazillion dollars.
Yeah.
So this is how hard it is
It's tough.
to
yeah.
get a loan. So I'm the heir, basically, of
Yeah.
a bazillionaire, right? And
That's crazy. The bank who knows and had a relationship with your father, knowing that
Yeah.
your family can turn something around,
Mhm.
turn something out of nothing,
Mhm. Yeah.
and they said, "No,
So then again, here's these walls. Do I give up? I'm going to the bank that I'm thinking, oh, they'll loan me the money. And they don't.
nope,
So do I get down, depressed?
you could."
Yeah, you could, but you just don't.
Yep.
Okay? So what I did is I thought, all right, I'm going to get the deal. So I worked out, they're going to finance me. I said, what if I can get you 15 grand? Would you carry the balance? And they said, you know what? We trust you, we believe it. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll do it. And I told them, I said, don't you think anything about my dad? Because everywhere I went in Tulsa, everywhere, from that day forward, everybody thought I was a trust fund cop. Kid.
Yeah.
Everything I did was because I had
I've heard
easy
the same
money.
Mhm.
There's easy money term,
Easy
right?
money right there.
And so I went back to that same bank that had made me car loans before. Well, remember me talking about saving money? Save your money. I paid my cars off. I could have gone out and partied with my wife in college. Could have been a big, hey, look at me,
Yeah.
right? I didn't. I was disciplined to pay my cars off.
Now you have
So I
access.
couldn't get the bank to make me a business loan to make money, but a bank would give me a consumer loan on a depreciating asset.
Wow.
Right? There's your fundamental business lesson right there. Banks do not go
That's
in business
crazy.
partnerships with you. They don't.
Mm-mm.
They don't. They lend on assets. Okay? Either intrinsic or intrinsic. So I get a loan on that car. I go put my first restaurant in. I give them $15,000. Now I got a car payment. And I got a restaurant payment. And I got a wife. And I'm trying to pay rent
Like,
now.
shit.
I'm like, oh,
Now you're in
God.
debt.
Yeah, I'm like that Jelly Roll. Like, somebody save
Save
me
me.
from myself. Yeah, I'm done, right? So anyway, now, man, things are hard. I'm busting my tail. So fast forward. I built that restaurant up in 3 months to 5 times the sales they had.
Wow.
I'm up to 18 employees. I got assistant manager. I go and I put another one in. Had to hawk my car off again, even though I own the company and I'm showing good profitability. I hadn't been in business long enough.
The bank
right?
said,
Yeah, I was still not in business long enough. And so then I go and I put another store in over at the Farm Shopping Center at 51st. I took up the old Ron's location.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I put that one. No, it wasn't Ron's. It was Billy's on the Square. Billy Bay with that. Anyway.
Okay.
So anyway, long history on that. But anyway, so I put that store in. Then I put another store in. Well, guess what? I'm now 22 years old. I've got 3 restaurants. Getting ready to put another one in like a year and a half, maybe. So my wife and I at the time had my baby girl, Brittany, new child, and from flipping hamburgers and freaking 7-hour days and never getting to go play golf with my buddies that graduated from college, carry briefcases, wear suits to work. Yeah. I'm flipping hamburgers.
You got grease stains.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, but I'm also flipping about $30,000 a month in profit.
Yeah.
Okay, and so now I told my wife, said, hey, I want you to go find a home, a new home. And I'm going to build you a new home, or we're going to buy a new home. And so she, well, okay, really? I'm like, yeah, really, it's time. We can do it. We can do it. So she goes and finds this builder, and this is like in a neighborhood where the average age is like 35 to 50. This is in a starter neighborhood.
Yeah.
And she said, I know this may be too much. I said, no, we're going to do that. We're going to do that. So we go and we get this house that's partially built. Through the process, I love the process. I love creativity. Yeah. I love the banking of it. I love the opportunities.
Yeah.
So fast forward on that is we did the house. And then, of course, I'm an entrepreneur. So I asked my builder, friend, Steve. I said, hey, Steve, can we talk? Can you tell me how much money you made on my house? Because I don't really care if you made $8,000, $1 bazillion. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. It took you about 5.5, 6 months to build it. I'm a numbers guy. And he goes, really? And he goes, well, I think I made about $25,000, $30,000. Now, remember, this is like 2000. Oh, this is 1997, I think.
Yeah, it's gonna be 97. Because I know when I met you and I started.
Yeah. So anyway, I said that's freaking awesome. I said think if you could do 10 or 15 of those at a time, right?
Yeah.
He goes, I've got 18 going. I'm going, you do? And then my mind's going, cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. Right? Every 5-6 months, I'm going, oh boy. And it'd be a lot easier than flipping hamburgers.
Yeah.
So guess what I did? I put my restaurants up for sale. I went to him and said, hey, you don't have to do this. You don't need me. But if I could get the money, would you be willing to teach me how to build? I won't be. I'm a quick study.
Yeah.
I promise. I'll be easy. So we go. He agrees. I get the money. We build our first house, and I'm literally learning. I'm not bugging him. So we took one of his best-selling plans. Obviously, a good start, right? I redesigned some things that I thought could be different or better. I picked up the nails every day off the job. I cut lengths of wood, sent them back to get credit. I mean, anyway, I took this contract to Steve, my partner. I said, hey, Steve, and he had a partner, so I had to split it 3 ways, the money we made. Because it was like, you're going to pay the price. You're going to put the money up, but you're only getting the third, and you're going to build it.
Yep.
But I'm going to teach you. But that was the
That's
price
the
I had to pay.
Yep.
Right? So I go in there, and I meet them. When I sell the house, I've got the checks made. So I go into the partner, into Steve. Partner opens his check up, and he goes, Adrian, why in the world did you bring me the check? Now I got to write Steve a check. I hadn't handed Steve his check. And I said, what do you mean you have to hand Steve a check? I said, that's your check. This is Steve's check. He goes, well, are you going to pay yourself? I said, yeah, I took a third. And he goes, looks at Steve. He goes, Steve, we have are you telling me this is what we made on this plan? And I said, yeah. And he goes, Steve, how come we've never made that?
Yeah.
Guess what? Light bulb went off for me, and I said, I'm gonna be a builder.
Yep.
I'm gonna be a builder. So I started Burial Properties. I was 23 years old. And anyway, went to Burial Properties, and from there, got into
when I met you,
development.
you had a developmental deal. I remember you had
Lots
there
of
was a
developments.
neighborhood, and I just remember your sign, burial
Everywhere.
homes everywhere. You had signs everywhere. And
Yeah, and again, Tommy, that was one of those deals where everybody thought my dad was funding it.
see, I didn't even know about your family at
Yeah.
that time. This is the first
Yeah.
time ever hearing about
Yeah.
your family. I met you as you.
Mm-hmm.
You met me as me.
Cool.
And
I like that. And look, we're still friends.
So it's one of those things that we genuinely got to know each other
Yeah.
through
Just here we are. Yeah.
just work.
Yeah. And so that was kind of that was kind of my start, and then obviously I gravitated into other things. I got into professional racing. I got into I had one of the largest online lending companies in the United States for about 18 years. I started it when I was 37.
You got that. You got that from your grandfather, loan sharking.
Well, I mean, hey,
you picked up that skill from.
Okay, for all you listeners out there that want to guarantee yourself an income or an opportunity to make a living for your family, I got two things to tell you. This came from my grandpa. If you want to make a living and you got a guaranteed market, you got to do one or two things. You feed them or you loan them money. It's that simple.
Yeah.
People got to eat and people need money.
They need money.
Right? And so I've done both of that. But I threw in, now I shelter them too.
Yeah.
So I fed them, I sheltered them, and I lent them money.
The money.
Primary needs, baby.
You covered it all.
I mean, those are primary needs.
Yeah.
If I could sell air to you so you could breathe, I would.
You need to write a whole book on that.
Right. There's a book on that.
Hey guys,
Yep.
we're at 1 hour and 45 minutes. We got 15 minutes.
Okay, cool. All right, so basically you could write a whole book on opportunities in business based on primary needs.
Yeah.
Right?
And those are the 3 ones. You covered them all.
Yeah. And those primary needs are...
I covered with the 4th one with entertainment.
Well, entertainment's for fun.
Yeah, that's
right?
for fun.
That's what you do when you have extra money.
Yeah, when you have that extra, yeah.
Yeah, so you're doing the fun part, which is great. Everybody needs to laugh.
Yeah.
And have a good time. So anyway, those are kind of the things in my life. Went to the highest levels of racing with my NASCAR teams. Met a lot of really great people.
What's the name of your company? It was Vision Racing?
Vision Racing.
Vision Racing, yeah.
And then my son raced in NASCAR.
Yeah. He did something with the Chili Bowl too, did he?
Well, my family actually we were the naming rights for the Chili Bowl
That's
Indoor
what I was
Region
wondering. I was
Nationals,
trying to get back to that. Yeah.
which is starting next in the end of next week begins.
'Cause I remember I had a warehouse building over there on 11th and Sheridan, and some people rented my warehouse to throw an after party Chili Bowl.
For the Chili Bowl after party? Yeah.
Chili Bowl after party, and I threw it there, and of course then they were selling tickets and then also selling alcohol, and the cops come raiding.
and they're shut down. Well,
they
someone's
shut
an
me down.
entrepreneur. Someone's been an entrepreneur.
I've
They've
been
been a young version of us probably.
Exactly. When
Like,
they were
I'm gonna
renting
get
my
a
building,
Yeah, I'm going to get a building.
the cops come in, like, who's in charge here? People point at me. I'm like,
Like,
oh, I'm renting this space out. I didn't know these
That's
people.
funny.
And the cops shut that whole party down. And but
But they were entrepreneurs. Yeah, they're giving it a shot.
That's funny.
Right.
It's funny how like still throughout the years, things I'm doing and we're not doing anything, but like
And
so
they're
long,
kind of
they
collecting.
still kind
here.
of
Yeah.
collide through each
Yeah.
other. It's pretty
Yeah.
funny.
So that was the Chili Bowl. It's the largest indoor sporting event in racing in the world to this day.
Yeah.
It's huge. Corporate sponsors everywhere. My father was gracious enough to supply support and finances to help get that going, and it's been a legacy that I'm proud of that he did. So that was good. But man, I've learned so much, Tommy, over the years about relationships. Whether they're personal relationships, intimate relationships, business relationships, my relationship with God, a lot of those things. And I feel like in order to be a king, I think you need to hit all those and have balance.
Yep.
And there's a very clear hierarchy of balance in life for people to be well, to be happy, and to be joyful in all things, whether they're good or bad. And to have the hope, where we've all, hey man, I'd be lying to you if I told you that I've never been in that depressed state.
Yeah. I think most men have. I think they talk about. I mean, there's a whole month, Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. It's like it's a big thing that a lot of men go through it because the pressure that comes on men naturally. We're told from the beginning of life. We're to be providers and protect and
Well, the 3 P's: provider, protector, priest.
Yep, and that's what
That's a value.
Yeah, but then sometimes men feel like that's a burden put on them, and it puts weight on them. Like, what if I'm not good enough, and how am I going to do this? People are depending on me. I'm told to be this guy, and that's where some men, I think, get into that because there's a lot of pressure on men to, be too. But a lot of men come out of it.
But you know what though? It's perspective too. You ever think about perspective? Our perspective is what we choose to focus on, right?
Yeah.
If you take the perspective of it's an honor to provide.
I
it's
think
an
so personally.
honor to protect. It's an honor to be a spiritual priest to your people, right? Your family, your wife, right? If you look at it as an honor, then that burden goes away. It's an honor. attitude of gratitude, right?
Yeah.
I'm grateful for the opportunity to have the honor to
And
be
that's what
that
most of us
person.
probably should look at, take it on, in a sense of honor. But the men who don't, I think they do feel a burden and they feel pressure. I'm not going to be able to take care of my family. And I think, what's my next move? How am I going to be good enough? And that does affect people. But, sometimes, you have to relook at it, like you just said, and take,
Right.
and just reassess your situation and fix it. And a lot of it comes with relationships. Like this whole thing we've talked about is a lot have to do with relationships, and that's your relationship
Everything.
with God and family, and
Friends.
good friends. And it's like we've been friends for many years, and and honesty. And I think honesty is what keeps the
That's
friendship.
Really important.
You
Really
know,
important.
You keep friendship by being honest.
Being honest.
I've had my friends from third grade. A lot of my friends think, "Oh, Tommy's crazy. He's such a grinder and hustler because I'm all over the place." But it's like I'm doing things that are differently, and because I take off out of state, they see me online and they're like, they see me all over the place. And a lot of friends they're very structured. They own a good business or whatever career they chose in life, and they stuck with that locally and they did their thing. And here I am, walking around like some crazy kid,
Just shooting fireworks, man.
Yeah,
Just shooting fireworks.
I'm just running all over the place, all over the country, and doing those great things, But I'm making great memories and building awesome companies and inspiring many people along the way, which I love. But it all came with being honest and making great relationships with people in life. And,
I think that you touched on something there. You talk about people that stay in consistency and build lives and structure and all that stuff. We all have highlight reels. Social media is the worst at making everybody think they're, I want to be like them, but they don't know what's going on behind the scenes, man. We all put highlight reels on. So I'm going to encourage people not to look at highlight reels and go, oh man, my life's, be comparison. Yeah. Everybody gets in the comparison trap. And that comparison trap is such an easy thing to cripple your mind, your motivation, your hope, and your spirit.
Yeah.
Right? Comparison trap. Because highlight reels with social media getting bigger and bigger and bigger, man, they're not real. It's not real. I know a lot of these people.
Yeah.
I know them intimately and personally, and they may be celebrities or whatever, but I know the stuff that's going on with them.
Yeah.
And it's not so pretty.
It's not pretty.
It looks pretty, but my point of that, everybody has, no matter where you're at, everybody has those things.
Yep.
And so don't ever compare yourself and put yourself in a place of depression or doubt or self-talk that's not positive, because everybody's going through it. Every single human is going through it.
Every single one of us. But, as long as you believe in yourself, and I'm bet on you, always bet on you, and know that you're going to do good. Just find what it is you're good at and just be awesome at it.
And stay at it.
And stay consistent.
And stay at it.
Yep.
Even when you think you're beat at it,
just keep going.
stay at it.
Yeah.
Be consistent.
Be consistent. And you'll be a winner.
Yeah. So if you do those same things, one thing that really bothers me is the divorce rate in America is at its highest level.
God, it's the same.
It's at the highest level that it's ever been to. And we know that there's a lot of problems with that because we talked about women are becoming like men, and now we got the generations of men becoming like women. Women won't follow these guys.
The percentage of the divorce rates, the percentage of divorces are initiated by women.
It's like 78%. 78%. What does that tell you?
It tells
what does that tell you?
You can't please a woman.
Well, I wouldn't say that, but
if almost
temporarily, I know I can.
If almost 80% of them out there are unhappy and moving on, you can't please women.
Well, that's not okay.
Listen, it's what we were talking about earlier. It's these women who are becoming look, I love a strong, independent woman. I love a woman who can handle business and be a partner, especially be a partner for me, because I choose people in my life to be my partner. My wife, I want her to be my partner. We're going to build and grow together, spiritually, financially, and everything else we can do.
Yep.
And, partnership with some of these women, wearing some big britches,
They are.
And that's where the issue comes.
Well, I think a lot of that's because, like we talked about, the generation of men, they've laid down, man.
Yeah.
I've never seen, like we talked about, people, these young guys that want to get on the internet or social media targets and go, hey, I'm going to be the next such and such. I'm going to get 10 billion followers. I'm going to get money playing video games and doing a post every now and then. I'm going to make money that way.
Well, they become beta men now, and then and these women are encouraging men to be weak now, and with the OnlyFans and all this, and they have these simps, and these men are becoming weak because, and now these women like it. They like the power, so they like weak men. They like, because not that they'll be with a weak man, but they like the
Oh,
idea.
they'll be with a weak man for a night.
For a little
For a
bit,
night.
because he paid.
Well, or they'll be with him because he's got something going on for a night.
Yeah.
But
And
when
it
they get to
sucks.
the meat of him,
He's a
there's
beta.
nothing there.
There's nothing there, and that's why these women are just tackling. And I'm not trying to bash women because I love a strong woman, but it bothers me that almost 80% of divorces are,
Okay,
pushed by
so
men,
yeah, I got
or
that.
by women.
Here's my take on it, though. I think that there's I think it's not one or the other
Yeah.
gender's fault. I don't think it's one or the other. I think it's a combination. I think that the women have become independent of men
Mm-hmm.
because generationally over time, men have become less attractive. Now, let me explain that. What happened to opening a car door?
Mhm.
What happened to bringing flowers home? What happened to being tender? What
Yeah.
happened to paying attention, communicating effectively? What happened to those things?
Well, women always, there's these women that say, always complain, like we're talking today, I can't find a good guy, but they friend zoned all these good guys, and that's where the situation
Well,
lies.
because the guys are simps.
They're
You know
simps.
the term simp, right?
Yeah, they're simps, but that's what these women, they don't want that anymore. And then, but these
Oh,
guys,
but they'll tell you they do.
they tell you one.
They'll tell you,
Oh,
I
they
want
put on.
that.
I like a sensitive man. I like
the
a man who's not
sensitive-
afraid to cry.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they get it like,
It's
no,
like,
I really don't
oh,
want that.
this
You know,
guy, yeah.
I really don't want that. I just have to say that,
Yeah.
And but they don't want it. And then those good guys are left in their friend zone.
Yeah.
Their friend zone. They're out.
Yeah, but then these women go like this is my favorite. I love. I don't like it. I don't like people being in pain or hurt or whatever. But
Yeah.
the thing is these women they'll be like in their late 40s or 50s, never married, never had a really good relationship, and they're going, I just don't know where all the good men are. Well, those are the same women that were in their 20s and 30s throwing the good guys away because they want the guy with the big beard, and they want him burly, he's got tattoos all over, and he drives a Harley, right?
Those same girls are on Grand Lake, at 20 years old on their boat,
Yeah, tattooed,
partying
yeah.
and having fun
Yeah.
on somebody else's boat. But now that they're older,
Yeah.
and these men who, when they were that young, they were getting no time of day by these women because they're on the older guys' boats. And
Exactly.
looking like, but now the women are older. Now those guys who did get the time, now they got the money. No, we're gonna go here. You weren't there. I'm gonna get what you didn't give me. And I'm like,
We're good now.
we're good now. And then
Yeah,
these women are kind of. It sucks.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a whole lot we can touch on
Yeah.
that. So the thing is, I think that maybe we can encourage some guys to be unique, to actually be different than the norm.
Be strong.
Yeah, to be strong, be kings.
Yeah.
I mean, we use the term kings, but do we really know what king means? Do people know the hierarchy of how to become a king?
I think it's being a leader and be.
Be someone a woman can follow,
Yeah.
you know? And so if you're going to be someone to follow, I think you start with God, you start with your family, and you start with your work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
I agree.
And then you take care of yourself along the way.
Yeah.
Don't forget who you are. So I think we can touch on those on our next podcast because I think I think if you can take care of your family, your wife, your relationship, your kids, and then you take care of yourself at the same time, you're going to be able to build a really well-rounded life.
Yeah.
But it has some principal ingredients I think we got to work on.
Yep.
Maybe your experience, the things you've gone through, things I've gone through, we'll be able to hopefully. Doesn't mean we're pros at it.
No, by any means.
But we're going to hopefully share our experiences
Yeah.
with some people and hopefully,
Inspire somebody.
yeah.
Yeah. I think life's about inspiring people, and I love doing that. I everywhere I go, I try to inspire somebody. At least if I can, once a day, once a week, if I can.
Yeah.
I live by trying to motivate somebody. I don't care whether it's on social media. I see something, I'm like, hey, listen, you're gonna be great at this.
You got this. Yeah.
You got this. I think we have to motivate each other as men.
That's a huge thing you're saying, and we're getting ready to wrap up here in just a minute. So we're going to touch on catching kings on another episode soon. Hopefully, we'll be able to bring some good content. We're going to talk about relationships. We're going to talk about your relationship in relation to your. You may or may not have a spiritual or faith-based relationship, but I think hopefully we'll get down the road in this. You may be inquisitive to explore that. And then we're going to talk about business opportunities and so forth. But one thing, Tommy, I'm going to leave you with that Tommy addressed right now is really important, is he was just mentioning that your relationships are key. Your honesty, being honest is key. taking care of the people that take care of you. We've talked about that.
Yeah.
We've talked about consistency, kind of a wrap up on everything. We've hit a lot of things. I know there's a lot to really maybe re-listen to and pick up, but these are absolute life skills
Yeah.
that have been learned.
Life skills, like
Yeah,
literally.
life skills that have been learned, and they're proven. I think I've had a really incredible, successful life. I've been happy a lot through adversities and triumphs. I know Tommy has. Like he said, he's happy.
I'm happy.
He's living the dream, man. He's put himself in places he never thought he'd be.
Never thought. I was just an Oklahoma carpet cleaner and small business.
And look at him now. He's been been filming supermodels
Yeah,
and
everything else.
and writing movies and starting businesses, and gosh, he knows me.
Yeah.
Anyway, so listen, appreciate. Hope you guys tune in next time.
What a great episode, dude.
I think it's
We covered a lot. That's episode 1.
Man, but maybe we can chop it and make it 2. So
Yeah.
and then fill in some stuff. But I think we covered a lot of
We
good
did,
stuff.
guys.
But you know, we're only going to keep people maybe for like 20 to 45 minutes at a time,
Yeah.
and then their mind starts wandering or whatever. So
Exactly.
maybe we'll be able to wrap some of the later episodes up in quicker versions,
Yeah.
and then hit it. But boy, we got a lot to talk
We got a
about,
lot to talk about.
and we got a lot of good people.
We got
can
more
bring
things
in.
coming in the future, guys.
Yeah, so pay attention.
Pay attention.
We'll see you soon.
Catch
Peace.
the kings.
That's all right. I think it's cool, man.
That was good.
We did good.